Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cart Before the Horse Productions live Tuesday night. I guess we're dealing with liars tonight. All right, welcome in, Mr. Walker. How you feeling tonight?
What's going on with you? Welcome back to back shows, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Cart Before the Horse TV. And today, as you can tell by the title, we are talking about liars, I guess.
So yes, as you can see, Mr. Johnathan Majors on the front there, he has been arrested, and so we're gonna deep dive through that, see exactly what happened to this brother. All right. And as you can see also back there, if you're not familiar, that's just Pearly Things. She is one of the largest YouTube creators right now. She has over 1 million subscribers on her platform, over 1 million. And she's sort of in our niche, if you will. She speaks on, a lot of issues within our culture. Some people will call her a culture vulture, almost like DJ Vlad, maybe. But so we're gonna deep dive. She done did some things, as you can see. This other brother on the, well, not brother, this guy on the screen.
Definitely
Mr.
no brother.
Yeah, Mr. Fluentes. What's his name? Nick? Or
Yeah.
I think they Nick Fluentes, or we'll get into him as well. So we're gonna get into the whole thing. We're gonna deep dive. We got an open panel tonight, so we look forward to having people up so we can chop it up and get everybody's take on it. Because, like I said, I don't know much. I'm interested to hear some different perspectives tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna see. It'd be nice to have a full panel up here. Back to our old panels with Brother Serge, Big Nasty. It'd be nice, and definitely have some new people up as well.
So yes, everybody's welcome to come up. All right, the links in. We'll be bringing people up shortly. I'll pin the link to the top of the chat so that everyone can, if come up, cam up, and make sure you're 21 and older. That's all we ask.
That's all.
So we're gonna get into it. Give me 1 second here to pin this link for y'all, so anybody that's coming in, they'll see the link. Like I said, you want to come in, get your camera ready. Don't have your kids on the screen, if you know what I mean.
No cart before the horse, kids.
Yeah, no kids tonight. I know sometimes people got the kids. I get it, but we trying to steer clear of that tonight. We've done it in the past, but I get it. If you can.
Be nice to have our single by choices audience flowing over this way. Earlier today, for y'all that don't know, we did our 1,000 subscriber celebratory episode for our single by choices channel for show. Thanks for everybody for support. Thanks to everybody for showing up. We now working on 2 channels with over 1,000 subscribers. This one here, our original Cart Before the Horse channel, has over 12,000. So please continue to share the love and show the support.
Yes, sir. Straight like that from the horse's mouth, Mr. Walker. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. We ain't going to keep y'all waiting too long. We're going to get into it. We got some guests back here. Mr. Seth with it. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm going good, man. What's going on with y'all?
Oh, man, this is an honor, brother.
For sure. Don't get it twisted. Thank you, brother.
Hey, no, it's an honor me being on, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be here.
For sure.
That's it. So how your night going? You familiar with any of the stuff going on?
Yeah. I looked into it a little bit. The Pearly and the Johnathan. So, you know what I mean? A lot going on, man. A lot of lies. A lot of lies.
Yeah, we got some videos loaded up. We'll mine through some stuff. Like I said, get people's opinions. And like I said, for people who don't know who you are, Mr. With It, like you said, With It Media. If you want to take a minute, let the people know about yourself.
Yeah, man. Seth With It, owner of With It Media, where I try to educate our people, educate the community through entertainment, conversations, podcasting. I also do some consulting with companies, trying to basically solve rich people problems, take their money and bring it back to my community.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean? And show others like ourselves how to do the same thing with your niche. So yeah, that's who I am.
Hey, that's dope. So
Ain't no trying, brother. You definitely doing it. Love your content. You obviously your production quality is top notch. Definitely a fan. Love to see it, brother. Keep it up.
Whoa, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. I love what y'all doing, man. You know what I mean? Y'all stirring things up. I'm glad that y'all in this conversation, man. I'll be watching. I'll be tapped in, man. So
Thank you.
So
definitely.
there we go. Also, I dropped his YouTube channel in the chat. If y'all could take a minute, go over there and subscribe to his channel. Like he said, he'd be over there cooking up. I see you be getting into the YouTube shorts lately,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty dope. So I've been seeing that. That's been coming across my algorithm. I was like, look at check you out. So yeah,
that's thorough.
I'll be getting your shorts on my algorithm.
That's thorough. That's what's up, man.
So I'll definitely be checking you out. I'll be seeing you. You pushing it. And like I said, man, Willie talked about that, like doing it straight from your phone. As opposed to how we chop up a lot of our live streams. But that's a whole nother art. We've done some things from our phone, but like I said, that's a whole nother niche within itself to be able to, you know what I mean?
Facts.
sure.
Definitely, man.
I see we got my man Banger Die in the back.
Banger Die, you there, Banger? I don't know what we don't know.
I tell you right now, Banger, if you don't try this charade tonight, gonna get kicked off. I tell you that right now. You better come on camera.
Yeah, Banger. If you are there, Banger, let us know. We'll bring you up, bro. But yeah, you ain't even got no avatar tonight. I don't know what you do. So there we go.
I'm around. What's good?
What's good, brother? How you
I got a
feeling
little
tonight?
Banger. That's what's holding me up from stuff, man.
Okay. Banger just following rules and procedures.
Hey,
All right, Banger, don't put hey, Banger. Come on now, Banger.
Hey, I feel you, man. I'm in the same boat.
Hey, that's we just we don't want to have kids on camera for the sake of YouTube. They kind of frown on that.
Makes sense.
My man Banger. Hey, shout out to Banger. We ain't had Banger on in a while. We need that Banger diet energy today. That what is it? Banger's babies.
So yeah, as y'all can see, we're gonna get cooking here. We are simulcasting right now, so I just wanted to we were simulcasting to Facebook just to let people know we were live streaming, but we're gonna shut that down. So if you want to check out the show tonight, please come over to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, come on over. We're gonna be up here for a while cooking. We're supposed to have a few guests coming through, so we're gonna get the show started nonetheless, and people will file in as they can. And also, if you are watching, from YouTube, you want to join the panel, the link's pinned to the top of the chat. So feel free to click the link and come on up. Make sure you cammed up. We'll bring you up. You know what I mean? Don't come up here saying nothing egregious or acting wild, but we'll bring you up. So with that being said, we'll get into it here. We're going to start with, I guess, the just Pearly things. We'll mine through this. Okay. So I guess we'll start with what happened here and mine our way through. All right. There you go. We'll start with this and then we'll mine our way through. Mr. Diz, how you feeling, brother?
What's up, brothers? How y'all doing, man?
All right. Good to have you back, man. You've been up here before.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. So good to have you back, brother.
It's been a while, brother. Good to see you, man.
It's been a while, man. See y'all too. I know it's been a lot of crazy stuff going on, man.
Thanks, yeah, man. Good to see your face, brother.
Likewise.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into it here. Just Pearl. Let me find my timestamp here, and we're gonna get cooking. Give me 1 minute. While I'm doing that, if Mr. Walker wanted to break out his violin, he know how to. You know what I mean?
I tell you what. For those that don't know, Big Pearly, as Gavin said, she is a big dog in the manosphere, specifically in the urban manosphere, if you will. And she talks ultimately on, black folks issues, dating issues, just as we do. And what we're about to go through, and Matthew is a video of her, if you will, going left, with the people she invited on her show and the conversation. Just a red flag. Understand this Caucasian woman, just Pearly, she only caters to, correct me if I'm wrong, a black demographic. And on this show, as far as her audience, the people that she hires and works with and for her, mostly, if not all, people of color. And then she had an individual who fancies himself, an extremist, white nationalist, if you will.
Yeah.
And she had him on her show, knowing who her demographic was. And we're going to match through and see if she was out of bounds.
All right. Here we are. Shout out to MTR Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, and shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. We'll be mining through some of their videos tonight. I'm going to tag them in the video, and we'll mine through. So we'll start with here, and this brother come on screen. We'll start with what everybody's up in arms about, a little bit of it. And here's the thing. I guess this was a 3-hour show. People, snipped up 30 seconds of it, 60 seconds of it, and that's what we get. Sometimes things are taken out of context. So I didn't watch the whole show. So I'm just going to give my opinion like everybody else, but I didn't watch the whole interview. But we'll mine through who both of these people are. So we got a lot going on. Stay with us here. Here we go.
I don't.
Wow.
I really don't. I don't wish the luck to racists.
Oh, I'm not racist.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Nick.
Yeah, I am a little bit
Yeah,
racist.
I know.
But listen, it's not because I hate people. I love people. It's just race is real. Race is real. Race is a part of us. So, hey, it is what it is.
And the Italians, we do not claim you.
Oh, hey, the Italians don't claim you. You're the one dating a black guy. The Italians don't claim me. They don't claim you.
Oh, no, they claim me. They claim me.
I don't think so.
They do.
Italian guys, yeah.
Italians,
Tell an
we're
Italian
big-
guy
we're big
about your
lovers.
affinity for black guys. That'll go over real well.
Good one, Nick.
Maybe some brajol. There's some Italian
No,
for
but
you.
I will make my black boyfriend some of that.
Ugh, wow. You don't know any better.
So that's some of it. That's some of the interview. If you don't know who this guy is, he's a big time Trump supporter. He's anti, black, Mexican. They say the Holocaust thing, all this stuff. He got a lot to say about everything. Mm-hmm. He's anti everything. But the whole thing about it is he's half Hispanic and half Italian. You know what I mean? He's a, minority himself.
Right.
So what's y'all take on what we got so far here? Thing is, I guess this went on through the whole interview. People's problem is, and we'll show a little more, is Pearly never stepped in. It's like, whoa, you're getting out of line, chill out. I guess that's what people's problem with is, because everybody know who he is. Wherever he goes, this is what he do. I don't have a problem with this guy's doing. That's what I don't consume his content. It is what it is. We must understand that there are people like him in the world. We can't walk around with rose petal glasses on. So I don't, agree with the guy. But she, like Willie said, she hires all black people. All black people are on her shows. These are the people she frequent with. She done made millions off these people. So she got an obligation, or are we looking too much into this? Like, she don't owe anybody anything. People like, oh, she's supposed to be our ally, if you will.
Yeah, she was wrong, and not for having him on the show. She was wrong for not doing her due diligence. Like, if your crowd is black folks, like, first off, what was the point in bringing him on, right? Because I'll do it. I sat down with a Trump supporter and a black Biden supporter, and we hashed it out. But the intentions was to come to a common ground and see what's the differences. What was her point in bringing him on? And if you're going to bring somebody on like that, you better bring somebody else, because I don't think Pearly's educated on black issues. That's the first issue. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to bring him on to have a discussion, you better bring somebody on who could talk some sense back to him. You know what I mean? He got a lot of humor. So you need somebody like a Dave Chappelle who could who could bring that humor to, and let's talk this out. You feel what I'm saying? That's where she was wrong, man. Like,
there you go. It seemed one-sided. The brother didn't seem like he was getting, and he wasn't. And he didn't seem like he wasn't. He wasn't getting any pushback. So it almost seemed like they was in agreement, if you will.
I mean, yeah, I think that's what happens when you're uneducated and you're someone, because Pearly's someone who likes honesty. So if you getting off honestly, she gonna let you get off. Yeah. Unless she could come back with some data, some stats to back it up. Like, that's what she does. I think she knows nothing about our fight, and she didn't have anybody in the room who knows anything about our fight to be able to come back. You know what I mean? And that's where she wrong to me. She wrong for that.
What you think, Mr. Diz? You muted.
You muted up. You muted, Mr. Diz. Hold on. There you go. You good? You might be lagging a little bit. Hold on. You got a lag there. You must got one of them Bangladesh phones.
Mackenzie, welcome, brother. What you up to?
Mackenzie in the building.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing? Peace and blessings.
Pretty good, man.
Long time no see, man.
Yeah. You know, trying to be like y'all, man. Staying busy, you know.
Hey, I had to hit you up on this topic. I said, you know, something like this. I said, my man Big Nasty on this. So I know you're familiar with just Pearly, right?
Yeah, so like be honest with you, man, you know, I don't really be in the know and to say, you know, I always let things kind of develop. I don't just listen to the first, you know, updated news when it just comes out. You know, there's always, you know, not just two sides but multiple sides to a story. But hearing the tail end of what Seth was saying, he pretty much had it, you know, spot on, you know, when it comes down to the two, you know, her just kind of playing a system, you know, that's been played way too long since, you know, slavery days in a sense. So I've seen and I've heard a little bit, but I ain't really dig down deep into it or get too familiarized with it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find a timestamp here and we'll get to the meat of it. Because here, that was the end of it. I guess that was what we just played was sort of the end of the show. And Pearly was telling the guy, I wish you luck. And the girl said, I don't like you. About it. But here's the meat of it. So we're going to get into it. Here's the comments. And we'll deep dive on some of the words because words mean things. Let's hear what they're saying. Shout out, brother Poke in the building.
Poke,
what up?
good, bro.
What up?
What's going
Can y'all
on,
hear me?
man?
Yeah.
What up?
What's up, fellas?
How you feeling tonight?
Good, man. Good. This is a show, man. I was like, shit, I gotta come through a little bit.
Yes, sir. Hey, this is a blessing. We got a lot of first timers here. It's gonna be a good one. Hey, Mr. Diz, I don't know what's going on, Mr. Diz. You got a couple things going on. I don't know if you'll and then he got something else going on. We'll let him fix himself. And I'm gonna get into it. I found my timestamp and we'll mine this out from here. Let's listen to this.
Comments.
I'm trying to get my Africans in America. My Africans. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
They're gonna
You're
be
get
in trouble.
yourself
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible.
So what does? Here we go. She's saying that she's stating facts. I heard Whitted say earlier she don't know enough to be hitting on these topics.
All right.
So what does the word embellish? What does that mean?
To exaggerate, embellish, to exaggerate, to shit, putting 10 on 5.
So the context of their conversation is when they're making these movies like Roots, Django, or Holocaust movies, that they are exaggerating what truly happened. Was not that bad. It wasn't that bad. And everything's exaggerated to strike fear in people and to control people. And to thinking it was that bad and that it could be that bad again. And that's sort of what she's saying, that, yeah, slavery happened, but it wasn't like y'all think.
Yeah, I feel like it's another one of them situations where white people might grow up in a home where the parents have lack of experience with racism, and they look at it as a sense of, okay, they're just in their victim shit, man. They on some victim shit. And they really don't know much about it. And so this kid grows up with this notion that, you know, black people are just victim blaming. They're really not really going through anything. And the few pieces of information out there that validate that, they run with it. You know what I mean? So whatever she heard in that interview validated, like, oh yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you don't experience something and you don't do research on it and you have little respect for it, you know what I'm saying? You really won't know much about it. And you could tell she ain't do her research on this like she's done research on other things. You know what I mean? It's just a lack of respect for our struggle and our fight and everything that we got going on. I like Pearly, but I can't respect her for her stance on that at all.
So let me ask y'all this, because Pearly is from the UK. She's not from America. But I would imagine that there is a disconnect between American slave culture and people growing up in a different, you know, in the UK and London. I don't think they have like Black History Month where they have to learn about Harriet Tubman and stuff. I could be wrong. I don't know if they do that there, and maybe she's ignorant to these facts. What do you think, Pope? What do you think?
Man, you know what? Actually, I'm kind of in listening mode, and I got more questions than answers. But
okay,
but my first question is this the same lady that be giving all the advice, like she be telling women about how men feel about things?
So that's her claim to fame. Is she, you know, obviously, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, and he passed away, and she sure to grab the torch as a woman, holding men accountable. And people say the YouTube algorithm boosted her up and put her to the forefront. All right, and now she speaks on, she sort of holds women accountable like a black man would, if you will.
Okay, so from there, my immediate question is, like, you know, as black people, like, why are we holding her to a standard where she shouldn't have anybody that's racist on her show or whatever? Like, I mean, what did she earn a black card or something like that?
Well,
like,
there we go. And she got she has a pseudo black card to where, like I said, she's speaking on black relationships and marriage. She speaks on, you know, our struggle, I guess. So all of her guests are black, all of her camera people, the people who help, you know, like Mr. Whitted here, people who do her multimedia and everything. She works with all black people. But then she, you know, so there were even black people in the studio because they're part of her team while he was in there. And he went on a 3-hour racist rant. And they was like, why would you make your own friends and your coworkers that uncomfortable by bringing him?
And as Whitted said, no one contested him. So
there you go.
She got all these, you know, black coworkers in the back. They filming, they all around, and this guy going off. He getting his rocks off, and no one was contesting him, not even Pearly. And 99.9% of her audience is black.
All right, bet. So, hey, now I'm going to really go into listening mode, because that's interesting. Because I was going to say, I mean, I've had racists on my show, and when I go to work or whoever, I loved it. I love to entertain a racist, you know what I mean, for educational purposes. But there's going to be some pushback to it too. So at that point, fellas, I'm going to go back into listening mode because I don't know enough.
Okay, so what you got? Donnell, you got anything on this so far?
I'm kind of like Poke right now because, like I said, I ain't really all the way hip on the situation. Again, I kind of try to fill it out first, and so I get a good perspective. So, Mr. Diz, it's your flow, man.
I was going to say, even while we having this discussion, this is even a greater discussion, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think it's necessarily about Pearly and the show. I think it shines a light on people saying like she's a culture vulture, like I hit on, and just how much are we trusting people to say, oh, how could she do this? And then some people said, why did y'all ever trust her that much in the first place?
I mean, my thing is like, you know, she can never experience what we experienced at all, ever in her life. She can have as many black friends and black people working for her and surrounding her, but she would never experience what we actually experience as people. You know, I'm tired of myself. I'm speaking for myself on this one. I'm tired of these white folks thinking they can speak for us. I'm tired of these white folks thinking they can tell us our history. I'm tired of these white folks thinking that they can just tell us a story, want us just to go with it. You know, we got to stop this. You know what I mean? Like we shouldn't be even entertaining her show. Yeah, I guess she picked up the torch from when Kevin left, but if it wasn't for us, she wouldn't have an audience. We're giving her that platform to have this audience. So, you know, as people, you know, and her talking about the slaves and all this other stuff, you know, yes, it was bad. But let's talk about the stuff that happened before slavery. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about stuff that, you know, they're trying to keep us from reading, you know, during the periods of slavery that 300 or 400 years. Why didn't they want us to read? You know what I mean? Like, let's ask those questions, because the fact that they're trying to hide, they're trying to erase what we knew and want to tell us what they want to tell us. They want to write their own story and then keep us from being knowledgeable. So, you know, that's pretty much what I'm gonna say at this moment on this base here.
And that's why it's important for us to have black media ownership, you know, like a cart before the horse. You know what I mean? Even like Polk's show, like, because every culture has their own. Like, if you go look up Italian media, you're going to see a whole list all owned by Italian. Irish, you got the RAI, all of these medias. But if you look up ours are all owned by white folks. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see anything wrong with others dipping into our culture. Mm-hmm. But the problem is nobody really has enough empathy or care for our issues at all. Like, if somebody comes to me and tells me they got cancer, I'm listening. I'm empathetic. If we come and we start talking, everybody's like, no, you know what I mean? There's a lot of pushback. And it's like, yo, I'm just telling you what I'm going through. And that's why I don't have a problem with you coming into my culture, but this is why we have to have more representation. Because like the homie DUI 285 said, he said white women will never openly go against their own kind in public. And you got to understand, Pearly pushes the whole sense of being submissive as a woman. She's a submissive woman. So when this white man is sitting next to her, telling her these things about black men, she's naturally submitting to that and hearing that out. You feel what I'm saying? So that, all of that's important, extremely important.
Wow, that was powerful right there.
Yeah, real talk.
So
that was strong, right? Hey,
True.
We don't get that opportunity when we're talking to our woman, man. It's always a back and forth dialogue. It's always, that was strong right there, bro.
Hey, with it, to piggyback off of that, one of the most powerful things I saw as far as unity amongst man and woman in a race was the whole debacle and circus with the orange man, Trump. He was caught on camera, you know, saying something most degrading, talking about grabbing women by the genitals. And to make your point, you know, white women say, okay, and they started making shirts saying he could grab me by the genitals. Ain't nobody, they just go along with they men because they know it's in their best interest.
Yeah, and this the pick. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To piggyback on what Brother Seth said, like he said with Pearly, if you think about what she does, she's a panderer, just like Derrick Jacks. Derrick Jacks pandered to the women. She's pandering to the black men, then. So she's no different. Even Candace Owens, but she's white, so she's gonna get more push than what Candace Owens get there, and Candace Owens is gonna get criticized more. So that's really what Pearly is. She's a panderer then, and she's pandering for the bag then. And then, like Brother Seth said, with the media, you know, we don't have no strong media outlets. We got the Shade Room and Bossa, but they promote all bullshit then. And they can do more for the media than for us as people, but our media sources just drama and who beefing and all that. So
I agree that pandering, she's pandering, Brother Diz, and it works because people looking for acceptance. So they're like, oh, you see what I'm saying? Oh, you know, this Caucasian sister, she down with us. She invited to the cookout, and they just happy to see, you know, somebody like her on their side. And
the slave mentality.
Yes, sir, straight like that.
The slave mentality. That's the master mentality, Willie. That's the master mentality. They wait for the white man or the white woman to come in on that white horse to save them, and then we just be open arms. And then, but at the end of the day, all of us as brothers, you know, there's very few brothers we gonna look to for advice. But I don't never look to no person that don't look like me for no advice as far as with me and my people. Then, so We got to be more cautious on who we let in, man.
They're looking for Pearly to save them, and Pearly done broke their heart.
He ain't saving nothing but the bag. That's it.
Hey, when we use the word pander, like, are we saying that she? Because I feel like her and Derek Jackson, me personally, I felt they were different. I felt like Derek Jackson. Are we saying that she's doing this all for money? Because as I've listened to her up until today, I pretty much agree with a lot that she has to say, and I've never felt like she was like trying to pander. I just felt like she was being honest, using facts, and having women hold themselves accountable. I didn't take it like that.
Maybe not pander, but culture vulture is the best.
Making a lot of money.
She came in, she made her way into this manosphere space and started stealing all the talking points.
Exactly.
And Pearly has a whole machine behind her to the point where she has probably 4 or 5 YouTube channels, and she drops up to 60 videos a day, short and long form content. And she has such a grasp, and that's not including TikTok and all these. Just on YouTube, she's dropping 50 to 60 videos a day. All right. She got a whole marketing team behind her. All she do is she's good at networking and getting people together and, orchestrating the show. And like you said, she does have good talking points, but it's simply it's stuff she can get from simply watching me and Mr. Walker. She could watch our show and say, I like what they say. I like this. I like that. And if it come out her mouth, you don't hear a lot of white women talking like that. So it sounds like it's something more amazing than it is.
Mm-hmm. Right. As Danny Nicole said, her intentions aren't pure.
Exactly. And before we even move on, I know our brother Theo Coop, the Do Better podcast, he touched on it like a couple of days ago then, and I watched a little bit of it, and like y'all said, she gave like no pushback, but if you watch any of her other videos, she's giving major pushback, and then she's almost kind of playing like the ditzy kind of like oh, that's what that is, like that, and then just letting this clown just go in, and then he even got a point. I don't want to ruin the video, but he even got a part where he's talking about an African cat in there, one of her workers did. So it's just like she kind of showed her true colors on that one.
Okay.
So, yeah, you let them in, and then they show their true colors and who they really are. So
but that's nothing new. That goes back since before Columbus. This is nothing new. It's the same repeated thing throughout history. It's not a shocker, at least not in my eyes here.
At all. I kind of knew what she was up to from the get-go, but everybody was buying into it how she wanted. And your brother Seth, she making a lot of money over there. She got almost 2 million subscribers. She putting out tons and tons of videos a day then of content. And really,
videos with it.
Yeah, now I'll give it to her. Yeah, she does her research and everything. But like you said, she can get talking points from you brothers then or whoever else did amongst the people there. So it is what it is.
Ain't hating on nobody, but you gotta feel something about that. That the fact that she can come observe content as she sees fit, and she could just take as she's whatever she wants. And as Gavin said, the whole YouTube machine is behind her, pushing her stuff. So you could be a pioneer in something, but an individual like just Pearly could come and just take it with the machine behind her and you'd be none the wiser. Culture vulture.
Okay, so Brother Poke, I know you're trying to get in here. What you got?
First of all, can you guys hear me? Because I don't have my AirPods in.
Yeah,
you good.
Okay. Still, fellas, I'm a little bit conflicted because this is my thing. Like, no matter what, everything she said, as far as us, was still helpful and true. So she still she still promoted exactly what we're always saying. So that's good. And also, if she has a racist on her show, that is still good too. Like, isn't this what we want? Don't we want racists to speak? Don't we want to hear how Trump supporters think? Like, don't we want this? Like, I like my racism up front and in my face. I don't want racism that's been being hidden. So I'm a little bit conflicted. Like, okay, so I'm disappointed that she didn't push back, but we not that disappointed though. You know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, like, is she helping our cause, and is she exposing racism for what it is? You know what I mean?
I think another reason people are bent out of shape is because she didn't have any other guests on the show with opposing views to go back and forth with them. Even if she did, like people saying, fine, she didn't do it. But I'm not extremely familiar, but I know her content. She's normally the kind of woman that's gonna have 7, 8, 9, 10 people in the room, and they're all But in this case, she sort of gave some form of exclusivity, and it's sort of out of the realm. She don't do stuff like this, I guess. I really don't have an issue with it. I didn't consume her content. I probably won't now. And like you said, but I've heard people say, because if just Pearly contacted us and say, we want to do an interview with y'all, I'll say, yeah.
Yeah, Poke, it's after seeing,
you know what I mean? So yeah. So
after seeing how intentional she is about holding women accountable, it makes me wonder, like, she's real strategic. Like, why didn't she bring in people to, go against him? Like, and it's starting to make me think that she agrees with a lot of the things that he says, but she doesn't want to agree on camera. So she wanted to let him get off. You know what I mean? Now, this is all accusation. I could be completely wrong. I don't know Pearly from a can of paint other than the things that I've seen. But she's strategic, and she does have a large panel. And it's like, why didn't you this one time? This one time? All you got is the emotional Italian girl?
So there's two things. Two things. Number one, even if she agrees with him, it's really like, as far as us, especially as brothers, it's like, and so what? Like, who cares? But number two, the guy that she brought on, from what I heard, he's just another Trumper troll. He wasn't kicking no real knowledge or anything. So really, he made the Trumpers look bad. He's making himself look bad. He sounds real stupid. I mean, I've seen some hardcore racists that come through and they kick some knowledge, and you gotta have some education on history to understand and debunk what they're saying. This guy, you don't need no information to debunk what he's saying. He sounded like a clown. So I mean, it almost looked like she had him on her to look like a fool. But at the end of the day, like, even if she did it, let's suppose she believes everything he's saying. I mean, who cares? Because she still be saying stuff to help us.
Hey, take what you can from it, then.
Yeah, like eat the meat and spit out the bone.
Yeah, hey, the clown that she got there, he was the one that headed up that Klan rally. Remember in Charlottesville, he was headed that then. The Tiki Torches.
She had him on the show.
No, that's the guy. He was part of. Yeah, that's him.
We're going to dive into it. So let's see. We talking a lot, and there's even people in the comments who have seen more. They know more than us, and they sort of like, y'all tripping this and that, because we haven't consumed. So let's dive deep. And then I'm sure maybe some of our opinions may change, may not, or we may have more understanding of the situation. Okay. So I'll finish playing this little bit, and there's another video, but we'll finish. But I stopped it here because she started to say we're embellishing slavery, I guess exaggerating what truly happened. So here we are.
So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible. It was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
Now, what's crazy is that I came across these comments while I was live streaming a couple of days ago. And what started out as a laughy, jokey live stream where I wanted to talk about my time up in London.
Yeah, so this brother here, he had to denounce her because he just recently did an interview with her. And then he deleted all the stuff off of his channel. And he said, I don't, because he was losing support. So, like the question stayed out near, should Just Pearly be canceled? And I know Mr. Walker was hitting on something about cancel culture. What's your take on it?
Yeah, no. I hate, and I don't hate nothing for the most part, but I hate cancel culture. No, let people talk. As Poke said, let people speak. Censorship is disgusting today. Allow people to talk. As Poke, I couldn't have said it better myself. If you're going to give me that racism, give it up front and close. You understand? Some of my good friends, I used to think, we're racist. We gotta stop the cat. I'm gonna give it to y'all straight up. We all a little racist, but there's no place for bigotry or hate. Racism, it's all a race. So many people have broke this down. We all at the finish line. We trying to finish this race, and ain't nobody trying to finish at the same time. Every race is trying to win. There's just no place for hate or bigotry in this race. And people like the goofy, Italian Irish or Italian whatever guy, he comes off as a bigot, or he is a bigot. So that's the issue. But Yeah, give it like Pope said, give me my racism right up in my face so I can know what to do with it. But that behind your back stuff, that'll get you ended.
Hey, you rather have an honest racist than a false one, then you feel me? Just let them
Yeah.
talk. Dude. Hey, you know, hey, we in America. Hey, Willie, we in America. Freedom of speech, like you said. Let them talk. Let them talk. Because now you know who you're dealing with. Now you know who you're dealing with.
Now I can adjust to that. Yes, sir. Heck shit.
I agree. Now you come in my face with it, that's a whole different thing. You can go over there, you talk all you want, but yeah, let them talk. Let them talk.
Yeah, I think that as far as the outrage around Big Pearl, I think is very sensitive. I think it's very sensitive. As y'all know, I'm not a sensitive person in the slightest. Let her have whoever she want up there. As far as understanding why people may be upset, I get it. I get why her black friends will be upset if they're sensitive. We got to understand the society that we living in, and most people are sensitive. So it's very easy to lash out at her.
Hey, just don't invite her to the cookout.
That's all.
Hey, take the information. Yeah, hey, take the information you can take from her, and then that's it. That's what it is. Hey, she never spoke to me, so
I'm sorry. I cannot respect the idea of her, picking up the Kevin Samuels torch. That's where I think she is the most extreme culture vulture of all time to me, because that's just sick. How in the world did we get someone of the opposite sex and a different race coming in and pick up this torch? I think it's insulting to Kev's work to say that she's speaking facts, she's holding women accountable. Yes, she is. But to put her on this pedestal and now say, oh, now we got to cancel her because she didn't withhold the standard. No, I think that's crap. Let her do her.
Hey, it's crazy. I don't see her up. I mean, she's definitely up there, but I feel like so many people took on the torch. Andrew Tate, you got the 8 at the table. You got, what's the one black dude's name? The 2 dudes from ATL. Like everybody's inspired by him right now.
Yeah, angry man, Anton Daniels.
Yeah, I just feel like everybody's inspired by him. Even women are inspired. By
him.
But
2 things is true. None of them people you name got even close to 1 million subscribers. It's the gravitas. You gotta understand.
There you go.
I mean, this space, Mr. Whitty. 1 million subs. Kevin Samuels was the only one to ever do it. Kevin Samuels the only man in this space to ever get 1 million subscribers, even close. Outside, I mean, she took that torch in.
Yeah.
And she got more subscribers than he had. So
I'm not surprised at that though, because you see that with an Eminem versus, you know what I mean? Like Eminem's white, so he's gonna come out and get more fans. You know what I mean? I don't know if Africa might not have Wi-Fi. You know,
I understand how it works. We got my man, correct me if I'm wrong, in the building. I know you got something to say down here, man. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm all right. Sorry I'm late. I just got off the plantation, though, you know.
Oh, man, it's an honor. You can just make it here anytime, man.
My man.
Hey, and one more other thing, Candace Owens, she get a lot of heat from us saying what she's saying, but she not saying anything different when we're just Pearly saying, just Pearly, just a different color. And she getting pushed more.
That's true.
Yeah, because us as black folks, we critical of Candace Owens. We say that she sell out, blah, blah, blah. But then you look at what just Pearly, she says the same things that Candace Owens says, but
Candace go a little far, man. Candace go a little
she
far.
is extreme. She is extreme. And yeah, it's like she says some things. I'm not a supporter really of anyone, but you can just take the information that you can from each one. Yeah, because like you said, us as men, women don't speak for me as a man. So
I like Pearly things for the reason of she points out women not being accountable.
Exactly.
That's what I like about her. You know what I'm saying? But white women hate her. They absolutely, if you go to her, I know a lot of her, she kept saying a lot of her TikToks kept being taken down. But if you go and look at any of them comments, like them white women absolutely hate her. They can't stand her. So she don't get no love nowhere for real. Besides,
why is that though? Why do they hate her?
Because they're telling she's saying things that they don't like.
Nah, that's not why. Why? They hate her because she's good looking, and to us, Candace Owens ain't the best looking woman, but she's good enough looking, and they can't stand a good. They like they black woman fat and ugly.
She is not attractive.
Yeah, definitely. Like to us,
I don't think either one is attractive.
No,
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying. To us, she ain't that good looking.
Well, I feel like they dislike her because she's making them be accountable for certain things.
Who we speaking about? I think, Poke, you speaking about Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Candace Owens ain't bad looking.
I'm just saying that's why the white women hate Candace Owens so much, because she's a good looking woman.
The white women, they hate Pearly things, whatever her name is, who has that show. What's her name?
Oh, okay.
Just Pearly.
Just Pearly. Okay, yeah, they hate her.
They really do.
It's the opposite for Candace Owens. The black women hate Candace Owens, but the white women love her. So it's like the opposite. Then they just
it's
flip.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, they talk about the same thing. It's just a flip. Then so hey, that's the world we live in. But hey, take the information from what it can do for you, and just move on from there. Then
all of that, my African stuff. Like I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't work hard enough. She one of them. We need to pull ourselves up out of bootstrap type bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right. So, and that's her personality. I can see.
Yeah, she's just not the person to deliver that message. We need to get her? Yeah, we do need to get ourselves.
We're gonna deep dive real quick and pull this guy up. We want to see who is this guy she had on her show. So we'll learn a little bit about this gentleman and see should she have had him on the show.
That just Pearly things is just as responsible or culpable as the person who said it. Now, who is the person that said it? This is Mr. Nick Fuentes. Again, alleged white supremacist, white nationalist, who, by the way, is mixed with Hispanic and Italian. That's an interesting mix for a person who's a white nationalist. But you know what? The guy is not that smart. That's very clear, and I'm going to keep saying it. He's not an intelligent person whatsoever. He can't really articulate his ideas very well. He's socially awkward. His IQ, I would assume, is probably below 80. Like, mentally unstable. So the fact that somebody would bring him onto the podcast is almost the same reason why you would bring Charleston White to the podcast. Now, Charleston White is much more smarter than this guy, but you know that Charleston White is going to say something that at some point in the podcast, others would term to be or say is going to be ridiculous, which is going to help you trend and get more views. Same thing with Andrew Tate. You know they're going to say something that somebody will say is going to be ridiculous. Nick Fuentes is no different. He's going to say or do something that is ridiculous. And in the case of being a white racist, he's going to say something that is going to be ridiculously racist. Now, let's go ahead and match up the statistics here. Just Pearly Things has a lot of people, I don't know how many, who are black. Now, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews talked about it on his video, which I'll get into another time. But he went to London and he said a lot of your people are black. So Just Pearly Things knows that her employees are black.
There we go. A little bit of it thus far. You know, and the question down there says, should Pearly be canceled like that? Poke, we bring you in. What you got, brother?
Okay, so all right, I didn't realize. So that dude Nick Fuentes, like I'm very, very familiar with him. Now things is making sense. And dude is absolutely right. Like he's an absolute troll. So if you bring Nick into your studio or your show, you know for sure he's gonna say racist stuff. Like he don't hold back at all. But again, though, and I can't get beyond this. My whole thing is, why did we think that she was above that? Like what made us think that she was so much above that? I don't understand why we would be upset with her in any type of way. In any type of way. Like, what is she like? Just because her staff is black, we thought that like she don't share these type of views and stuff. So I'm just, what I'm trying to say is I'm not shocked at all that she feels that way. But the bottom line is she's still spreading the same exact information that we've been spreading. Well, so it's like, you know what I mean? I don't care. Let me say this. Like one thing about white supremacy, one thing about Trumpers and political conservatives, they stay on code. They can have different religions. They can have different viewpoints on all kind of other stuff, as long as they're on the same code about this one particular thing. So we gotta learn how to be the same type of way. As long as she's on code with us about this one particular thing, why do we care so much about if she don't like us or not? Who cares? Who gives a shit?
Right. When she was on there, she said how much she loved Ben Shapiro. That's when I was like, okay, so you love Ben Shapiro, you got him on your show. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did say that.
Yeah, I mean, she's exposed at this point. Like I came on here real gullible, and like I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. But now I'm like, oh shit, okay. So she's exposed, no doubt about it. She's exposed, but she's still been championing for us.
That's true.
Am I wrong?
That's true. Is that possible? Can she talk about she loved this guy? So can she love a troll, racist bigot and be a champion for black folks? Is that possible?
As long as she can make a bag off it.
I ain't know she get to a bag. Her strategy is on point. Obviously, her bank account shows it. And I can't get past the sensitivity. Well, I agree. I don't understand why people are so sensitive about it. But I don't think she could be a champion for black folks and talking about she loves this individual. I don't think they go hand in hand.
She just didn't get no pushback, really. She didn't get no pushback or challenge them. That's the whole thing. Let them talk. But she was just sitting there like, hey, that's funny.
There you go. If we was up on this panel and we had the goofy dude up here and we just all let him talk and say his stuff and we
all like suckers.
And we would be suckers for sure.
But he wouldn't get away. He wouldn't get away with that over here, though. He already know that, though.
Oh no, not in hell. But I get why. Like just Pearly, I was called a big Pearly. Just Pearly, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. As a matter of fact, I respect her tactics and antics. Everything on social media today is about extremes. It's either got to be extremely funny, extremely exciting, or extremely stupid. And so any extreme works. So bringing up some crazy troll white nationalists, how can it hurt? Especially when she could turn around and apologize and be right back in, sensitive people's good graces.
Wait, did I miss something? Did she apologize?
Yes. So that came out today.
Okay.
Yes.
Holy shit.
She bent the knee. All right.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't.
Hey, can I make one quick point, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but again, my brother, I think it was Gavin. He mentioned the fact that Trump got elected president, but he famously said he grabs women by the vagina and all this stuff. Like, you right? But in that moment, did white women say, you know what? We're voting for Hillary Clinton to be the first white president? No, they didn't. You know why? Because Trump was on board with white supremacy. So they said, you know what? Even though you're a sexist and even though you don't mess with women all that much, you are on board with white supremacy. And so for that, I'm going to stay on code and I'm going to vote for you. Now, that should be a lesson to us. Especially black men, we're the least heard people in America. So for somebody that has a platform and they're reaching 2 million people, I almost don't give a damn as long as she's trying to get this message across to people that, treat us a little bit better as far as these relationships goes. I don't care if she's racist. I almost assumed that she was racist before I ever seen this video. Like, I'm not disappointed that she's racist. I'm not disappointed. So I'm just saying, like, we need to learn codes too, man. Like, if somebody is using their platform to accelerate our agenda, we shouldn't be so sensitive about this shit, man. Who cares?
There you go.
That's just my thoughts.
I agree. Like, I agree. Like, when it said in the beginning, we need to start controlling our own media and start grabbing the bull by the horns instead of always running in the victim Olympics. All right. People sitting here, because at the end of the day, Pearly is, like I said, she over in the UK with a studio full of people from the UK, Nigeria. These are not, and they're talking about black issues in America. They're not talking about, they're talking about the stuff that goes on here in the mating and dating market, and black folks in particular. So you got a room full of people that they ain't from this country. They hardly know what goes on, but they're they're the go-to people for people to listen to about all relationships.
I mean, but it's not hard for her to do that because America is nothing but an entertainment center as it is. You look at America as a whole. Other countries look at us as druggies. You know what I'm saying? We're the most prescribed people on earth. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to just doctors prescribing us stuff, they look at us as junkies. They look at our TV shows. They look at everything. America is nothing but pure entertainment in to begin with. So it's not hard for her to create something overseas about America because that's how the rest of the world sees us, to be honest with you. Africa and Europe, like they see us like this. It's no different. So, we see ourselves one way, but really we're advertised to the world a whole nother way. And that's the way they see us. And this is reality. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing but a shit show. So can't really be mad at that either.
And I still think it's wild that we think that our issues is the only thing that she's focused on. I never took it that way. I figured she was just talking to the entire modern woman mentality, which is white, black, the entire generation of our mothers down is this whole feminism, modern women are young until they're old. You know what I mean? Like, so I never took it as she was the face of black at all. I'm like Poke. I'm not surprised at all. I do hold her accountable for not having somebody to go against him, but I don't see her as the face for us. We might be the bulk of who she views, but my algorithm don't show me nothing but her talking about women need to be more accountable and how women are 80 to 90% of the ones who file for divorce. They're the ones who are screaming unhappy. I never seen her talk about anything other than relationships, and I feel like it's pretty much based off of what every man's dealing with women now. So I don't see it like that,
So here we are. So here we are to hit on DUI 285. He says, well, why the white men ain't let her in the white manosphere? And that's sort of I guess that's the overall thing is because this is a lane within itself on YouTube that is a big lane, like we was hitting on the whole Kevin Samuels thing. And it's not that she's speaking to the black community in particular, because like you say, it can go across any race, any demographic. It's the fact that the algorithm has made her the face. And that's why I hit on it. People need to stop complaining, grab the bull by the horns. It's not about canceling her. How about we balance this out and more people start creating content or shut up about it? Can't be complaining about what she's doing. That's her business. It's a business for her. Like I said, she drops 60 videos a day.
That's insane.
Don't nobody do that shit. We create content. We know how hard this shit is. She got a whole team behind her. She ain't doing that shit by herself.
I don't make 60 in a year. Shit.
See what I'm saying? She's dropping 60 videos a day. And the algorithm loves her. It's gonna keep feeding her to people. Who? Black people in particular.
I think to answer the homie's question of why white men haven't let her into the strat, I don't think she fits the agenda. The agenda is to make men weak. Is you know what I mean? I think there's an entire and it's not just black men. They've been doing that to us since slavery. I think it's to make the entire male race weak, to look up to women, to make women stronger. You know what I mean? So I don't think she fits that agenda. Her, Andrew Tate, or anybody else spewing that same message. I don't think it's, you know what I mean? That's why I don't think anybody lets her in.
I think that they did let her in. You know what I mean? When you think about overall, again, look at her platform. You're not getting nowhere without going through the white man. They're going to open that door, and they open that door for her to have this show, to have this platform. If she was black, I'm not going to say she wouldn't have the same platform, but I don't think it'd be, as big. I mean, let's take a black woman who's making 60 videos a day, same thing that she doing. I think you still, at the end of the day, have to go through this white man. They're going to easily slow down her algorithm, or they open the gates up for, let's go ahead and keep feeding these people. It's a part of, to me, the overall agenda of having people be entertained by her platform. So to me, they have let her in from just a different perspective.
And that goes to a real quick, Poke, I'll let you in. It goes to a larger point, just to double back what he said, why didn't they let her in? Because there are people who sort of hold themselves and say they're traditional, if you will, right? To where we say women shouldn't be preaching in church, right? And then somebody else said earlier in the comments where they said Kevin Samuels would never allow a woman to speak, especially a woman from a different culture, to speak on these issues. And I guess people are coming from that angle is where she's sort of out of pocket. Like she should not be the messenger. But like Donnell said, like we all saying, is what it is. People gonna consume it. It's just it's a catch-22, if you will, man. So Poke, I'll let you go. You can get in here, Mr. Diz, after him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to say, like, I agree with what D. McKenzie was saying. By the way, is that DJ from Midland? Okay,
No,
my bad.
No, sir.
My bad. But I agree with what that brother was saying. I feel like she was lit into white society to a certain degree. When you have 2 million followers, like, yeah, you're in white society as well. But I will say this though, she isn't felt by white society the same way she's felt by black society, because the white woman is still getting married. The black woman is the one that's not getting married, and the black woman is the one that's struggling from all these issues. So they're going to feel it the absolute most. So right there, I feel like that's the difference right there. Like to white people, it's like, what is she talking about? Because we're still underpaid than our white counterpart for doing the same exact job. But in our community, our woman is overpaid for doing the same exact job. And so we have a family imbalance, and we are at odds at each other, and we're getting divorced and not marrying just because of money. So what she is saying makes a 1,000% sense to the black community. It don't make 1,000% sense to the white community.
And that's true. That's very true. That's a great point.
That's a good shit, Poke. Hey, you
but you know, to take it, what he's saying is, and we all know what he's saying, but like for the viewers in a sense, so like we talk about these white supremacists, and I'm not saying she's a white supremacist, but again, we just talked about how they stick together. So because she's aligned, to me, she didn't really give any backlash. I'm not saying she racist yet again, but you allowed us to be on your talk show. You didn't give any backlash. So I got a conclusion that you somewhat agree with this here. So again, you're allowed this platform because you overall believe in this. So we're going to give you this platform. You can go ahead and bat for them, but at the end of the day, we know your true roots. So I'm just saying, like, it's possible that because she's a part of that supremacist group, she don't display it like, how we think the original supremacist is going to display it, as in, oh yeah, this and that and all that other stuff. She might be undercover, behind the scene, come out when needed type of supremacist. But then again, that's why I think she's kind of allowed that platform.
Come on, Big Nasty. Let's call a spade a spade. She is what she. We don't got to say. I'm not saying she ain't this. She is what she is, man.
Hey, they definitely got behind her then, because think about it, man. She got old boy on that show, man. And so they definitely dropped some pounds on her then from the UK then. So she got the machine behind her. So
hey, I'm gonna tell y'all just like this, man. Most of us are content creators. Okay. If you could have Nick Winters on your show, you would too. See, so that's the thing. Now the only thing is you would have some pushback to him. And that's really it. But as far as having him on the show, fellas, that's not a freaking big deal, man. If I can have that dude on my show, I'm getting on my show for sure. And guess what else? If I was negotiating with him and he was like, you know what? Don't be coming back at me like you did with that last Trumper, I would say no problem.
Well, I think it's more about yeah, come to the show. But I think it's about.
Do you know why though, Willie? You know why, bro? Like, to a certain degree, our people need to hear people talk.
Absolutely.
Just let them talk, man. Like, what's the point of saying no? I don't want to hear this. Let them talk so that you can understand how your coworker behaves, how your next door neighbor behaves. Everything don't gotta be a debate. Everything don't gotta be an argument, man. You want to make them comfortable so they can talk, man.
But overall, I'm sure that if he came to your show, it's not going. It don't even have to be combative. It's more so going to be educational. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right, because I've done it before.
Mm-hmm. So, like, of course, I'm gonna open that door to anybody, no matter if you're supremacist or Black Panther.
As far as how,
it's going to be a more of an educational stance from, I'm sure, your side or one of our sides here. We can chew you up in an educated, fashionable way. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be, I'm about to cut your ear off because you supremacist. No, I like that type of talk.
But see,
my
thing is, they already fucking know. And I feel like they love to get on our type of shit or have us go back and forth and debate shit. Like, they get off on that shit. They already know what the fuck it is. There's no point for me to be on your shit. to be on your show, you to be on my show. We already know what the fuck it is and what you represent. And if you don't, I don't know, motherfucker, you've been living under a rock or some type of goddamn shit, but I'm not about to give you the satisfaction of me, you know, or whoever else getting all angry and sweating and shit because this motherfucker talking his white supremacy talking points, and you know what I mean, you all frustrated. Fuck all of that shit. The only reason I can say myself doing it is maybe for the numbers, but even with that, it's just like
that's all it's all about. It's all about the numbers.
Okay. Well, there you go. Like I said, we're all content creators. For your own numbers, listen, this Nick Quintas dude, he's a big deal. For your own numbers, that would be great. For your own numbers, but again, like I said, if we're negotiating, he was like, "Listen, folks, you can't be coming back on me and pushing on me." I'll be like, "Cool."
You know, it'd have been dope if they would have had Charleston White on there with him too, though. That would have been pretty dope right there, dude. See how that interaction would have been.
Y'all like Charleston? Are y'all fans of Charleston?
No,
I like.
You don't like Charleston?
I like him. I like Charleston.
Charleston got some valid points.
When he talking about something, but he just running his mouth, just like, you know.
I think he's necessary. He's a necessary evil.
There you go. Yeah, some people are just necessary. I would like to have a cup of coffee with a lot of people, but some people are necessary. Like we talked about having white supremacists up on shows. It don't necessarily feel good, but it's necessary. Let's hear them out, hear what they got to say.
Well, the thing is, Charleston, he has a lot of valid points. Let me be honest with you. I mean, you know, I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of what he does says about us black men is very well true. Like, for instance, you know, we just had the killing down in Florida. Who was that? Who got? I don't know. Anyway, bump that. Why is George Zimmerman still? Oh, that was 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine walked street, finally get beat up, right? But why George Zimmerman still walking these streets? Us black men should have been down there and stumped on this nigga head. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to some points of Charleston, I agree with some of it. But like you said, when you get talk about the bull crap that don't make no sense and all that, not cool. But when he making some factual things about these so-called thugs in the streets, we so quick to kill one another, but we ain't so quick to stand up for one another. That's what we need to do. That's where we miss. That's what we're missing. The key piece.
We can say the same thing for Candace Owens, right? Like, we all dislike her, but a lot of times she says shit that I'd be like,
Very true.
Very true. The sensitivity. Hence the question on this topic: should Pearly be canceled? The answer is hell no. She should nobody be canceled. Let people say what they gotta say.
Freedom of speech.
So yes. Let me ask this. I'll go around and ask everybody this question before we move on to the next topic. All right. Because if you consume her content and if you don't like what she said, just stop watching. That's just how life works. You ain't forced to watch her. Right. So my question is to the people who are actually close to her. Like I said, she has some of her closest friends, her employees, and just other people she does content creation with. These are all black folks. And some of these people are like, oh, maybe you should apologize, do this. But my question is, all of us got friends of different cultures, right? Should we expect them to have our same expectations or same values? Or should we be like, all right, we cool, but when I ain't hanging out with you, I'm sure you do your own thing and you probably believe in this, but we can align on some things. Or do you expect them to believe everything you believe? Because that's how they approaching Pearly. Like, how could she do this? I thought she was blackity black, but it's like,
Gavin, what culture are you speaking of that we have? First of all,
well, you know, we got friends of different cultures. I got a good friend, one of my real good friends, Bill. He's a big fat white German dude. Good friend. When I first met him, I thought he was a raging a-hole. He all into politics. You know, he was Trump. You know, but the same guy that was talking all this, you know, Trump stuff, and back then, you know, I was vote blue no matter who. And he was talking all this mess, and the same, you know, proud white German man chewing tobacco, driving rigs, said that Planned Parenthood was the worst thing on earth. And I said, what are you talking about, Bill?
That's true.
He said, you can't tell. I'm telling. Understand the source where it came from. We talk about racism. He a proud German man. He said, Planned Parenthood, he said, you can't tell me that if Planned Parenthood went around, we wouldn't have more Michael Jordans, more Barack Obamas, more LeBron James. He said Planned Parenthood kills so many black babies ain't even funny, and that's facts. This coming from a Trump supporting Republican. So that's why I say let people talk, and to get a better understanding, as Witted said, get a better understanding, listen to people of different cultures. No, we don't expect them to have our same values wholeheartedly. They can't, especially if they have different cultures. It makes no sense.
Very true, Willie. I mean, look where they placed the Planned Parenthood's at. I mean, that's a key giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, giveaway.
But yeah, we can't expect people of different cultures not to be able to speak freely and say how they feel. Lord knows I say what the hell I want to say.
So I guess that was a unanimous no. I like you said, Wood, I know you got stuff you wanted to say, but like I said, do we expect our friends from different cultures to align with us on everything? You know, if you had a friend, if Pearly was your friend, would you be mad at her? You know what I mean? Along them lines.
I don't expect nothing from nobody, so I don't expect nobody, even a black person, to understand where I'm coming from, because honestly, a lot of black people don't when it comes to certain topics. So I have no expectation of anybody.
Listen, I went to Hopewell, so I got hip to this shit early than the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to figure out how they, you know, not all, but you know, how they think, how they operate, what they think about us. So it's like this shit like this is not a surprise to me. You know what I mean? So
see, yeah, I feel differently. I do have expectations for you. Like if you've never been through something, don't speak on it until you've done your homework or until we've talked about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't never been to prison, you can't be out here giving advice on prison and all. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't never been in the streets, you can't talk that. You know what I'm saying? If you never had cancer, you and people don't do that. Well, people do, but if you a homie with me and you know nothing about race, you better not be online spewing all of these details unless you've done your research, unless we've talked. Like, get to the root of it first and then talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got one time to slip up, but then we got to talk after that. Like, bro, like you say you got love for me, but you talking about black issues, but you ain't done no homework. You ain't talked to me. You really don't care that much to do the homework, but you talking about it. You a op to me? Like you so mad at Kaepernick, but you don't even know why he really knelt. That's my expectation. Like, do your research. Let's talk.
it just lets Seth, it just tells me like, how cool are y'all for real? That's what it boils down to for me. How much are y'all really for real friends?
Right. We're not. If you step over that line, we're most likely not.
For real. I agree.
But I'm gonna say like this real quick. Like, I experienced something, and I knew before I'd even experienced it that, you know, at the end of the day, and this is not just for white people, but this is for anyone outside the black culture. Whenever your back is against the wall, it's always going to be them. It's never going to be us. They're not going to choose us over them. They're not going to choose us over anything other besides them and their people. I can tell you that right now. You know, I had a good friend of mine, still to this day. I still consider him a good friend, but I know where we stand. You know, we was in a conversation, me, him, another black brother of mine, and another white dude sitting in the office. But it's two white dudes, two black dudes, and we talking about, you know, police this, that, and the other. He got a police flag in his yard. I ain't got no problem with that. That's cool. But the question came down to, bro, listen, if shit gets real, it hits the street, and you know what we fighting for, what side you on? And you know what he said was, I mean, shit, you know, he ran around it for a few, and he said, well, shit, I got to stand on my side. So regardless of, even if they know what we fighting for, they still going to stick within their own. I can tell you that right now. At the end of the day, so if you can be best friends with this dude, he can grew up with you and adopted in your family. At the end of the day, he's going to choose his side of the fence. I can tell you that now.
As he should.
Right.
We don't do that. What they should
We
do.
should start doing that.
I mean, why would you want to be a part of the opposition?
Facts.
I mean, no, don't get it fucked up. There are some of the dominant society that will ride with us. You know what I'm saying? There are some that are like that.
You right.
I would say for the majority, you know, it's expected for you to stick with what you know.
But if you're the dominating side, it will be kind of obsolete for you to be like, let me go see what it's like on the other side and it's weaker.
I mean, but we've seen that before already in the past. You know what I'm saying? We've seen people from the dominant society come over and really try to help out black people.
You want to be in it? You want to be in it?
I tell you what, before this subject go on, I think one of the things we really need to do is learn from Pearly, to be honest. Like, I want to know what that whole blueprint is. Like, how many videos you putting out today? Like, how are you delegating tasks? What's the budget? What's your 12-month plan? I think a lot of times we'll see what she's doing, who her audience is, and we get mad and we'll say, oh man, they pushing her or they letting her in. Why not us? I want to see what's going on behind the door. I want to know what the business plan is. You know what I mean? How much of the algorithm do you know? How have you cracked it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
At 26 years old.
And how big is her goddamn team?
Right. I want to know all of that because, yes, race does play a role, but some people, and this is her personality, is to push forward, be strategic, be more strategic, and push forward. And we got to learn from whatever her strategy is. We got to learn from that shit.
Yeah, she's not an idiot. That's for sure.
Okay. So, Pope, go ahead and get the last word on it before we move on.
Oh, man, cool. Hey, but before I start, man, I just want to say, man, I love being a part of this discussion, especially with a bunch of brothers, man. And you guys are doing so great as far as your channels and stuff like that. When I listen to Seth speak, man, like this brother articulates himself on such a high level, like on some real shit. It's like, yo, man, come on now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Cart before the horse, you know what I mean? All you brothers, some of you brothers I don't know, you know what I mean? Correct me if I'm wrong, man. You guys said so much where it makes me think and it kind of altered my opinion on things. Okay? But I will say this much. She did almost the same thing that Kyrie Irving did. She had somebody on her show and he said his opinion. Right? Kyrie Irving just simply tweeted something of a YouTube or of a book that he agreed with some points, and none of us was mad about that. My thing is this: she never said nothing, man. She never said anything.
I won't agree with that.
I don't know.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know.
Because I think when they were talking about my fault, Poke, when they were talking about the Holocaust or whatever, she had to throw in there. But that kind of sounds like slavery a little bit to me. You know what I'm saying? Like they wasn't even on that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's where the ball with her started getting rolling, when she just had to throw in slavery with it.
Okay.
So go ahead, my fault.
No, I appreciate that correction because she did say something. And that's something actually fucking major. All right. So I stand corrected on that. But the bottom line though is I still stand on this, man. You gotta let people speak their mind, man. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, she has done nothing in her life to make us trust her enough to think that she loves us. The mistake is on us for that. Okay, so what? She had a couple of videos that we agreed with. You agree with her so much that you loved her to be disappointed when you find out that she may agree with racist views? That mistake is on us. And we do that all the time. I give you a perfect example. I once had a job and I knew that I was quitting, right? I knew that I was going to a different job. But I didn't tell nobody. I told one person, one white dude, just one white dude. Because I thought that this dude was my guy. I thought he was my fucking man, 100 grand, right? Turns out this job ended up letting me go 1 week before I was going to start my new job. I was never going to give them a 2-week notice and none of that. Okay? Because they didn't deserve it. But guess what? I got let go because my man let them know, oh, he has a new job. Okay? Now, who should I be mad at? Should I be mad at the job because they let me go?
Nope.
No, man, be mad at myself because I actually fucking trusted this fucking motherfucker. I made an error in my decisions about who's trustworthy and who ain't trustworthy. Don't be mad at her because you trust her. Like, why in the hell did you trust her? Like, what did she do to make you? And we do that all the fucking time, man. Like if a white dude, if we're at a party and a white dude could dance, we fucking celebrate him.
Yeah, all of that. She's invited to the cookout shit. I didn't understand because I wasn't seeing any of her content, like Seth said, besides holding women accountable for certain things. So anything else, I'm like, where's this whole cookout thing? Like I didn't understand.
And it's ridiculous. a lot of what she says is not exactly directed towards the black community, but
Right.
what she's saying, the black community is affected most by it. So
We feel it. We feel it.
it's felt the most. And there you go. And that's why she's invited to the cookout, if you will.
So
I think we be gullible to
at
white
the end of the day, man, we need to look at ourselves and how quick we are to accept white people just because. Yo, man, she never came. She never let us know her political views. She never let us know how she view on anything. All she did was just spit some relationship shit that fit us the most. That's really all she did. So again, all I'm telling you is I'm not surprised. I'm not disappointed. None of that. But in fact, I hope she keeps talking that relationship shit because it'll only benefit us. Other than that, man, fuck it, man. I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck her.
Someone said it best on the podcast. They said, as black folks, we need to stop being so predictable. If you don't think just Pearly knew that having him on here was going to put her in a trending storm, you crazy. She knew what this was going to do. None of this is surprising to her or her team.
It's all calculated, Willie.
Black folks are extremely predictable.
Even down to the point where we're sitting here, we talking about it right now on the podcast. They knew this is a whole ripple effect. Whether my name in your mouth and is good or bad, it's good publicity. You know, everybody's talking about her.
Real quick, you know why we're extremely predictable? Because we're extremely godly. We're extremely godly people. And one thing about black people is this. We don't understand deception like they understand deception. Because black people, we wear our emotions on our sleeve. If Marcus is mad at me, I'm gonna fucking know it. If he's disappointing me, I'm gonna fucking know it. We see white people, you could cross the line with white people and you will never know it. You will never fucking know it.
That's a fact, and that is a great strategy in war. Yeah, that's being predictable is extremely detrimental. Extremely. And that's why I point it out.
Yes, because we're godly. At the core, we're fucking godly, man. We're at least submissive to God. At the very fucking least, we're submissive to God.
God fearing.
And guess what happens when you're not God fearing or submissive to God? Man, you deceive any fucking body. You deceive your children, your wife, anybody. You're good at that shit. You're perfect at that shit. We're not good at deceit. We're not good at deception.
So just to play devil's,
so we go back to the history books.
Where has that gotten us?
It's not gotten as far.
It's not gotten as far. Godly.
It's not gotten as far. But despite everything we've been through, we've survived it. We're not supposed to survive what we've been through, bro. We're not supposed to survive that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a good segue for us here. We're talking about lack of trust and don't always trust in them because that's the show tonight, right? Talking about the liars. All right. And my man front and center. All right, Mr. Johnathan Majors. His brother was arrested. All right. So we're going to bring him out front in the congregation and see what happened here. All right. This brother on top of the world right now. He just did the Creed movie. I went and checked it out. The movie was pretty neat. Did the Creed movie. He did Ant-Man. Right?
That was pretty good too.
So he's doing lots of stuff right now. So just wanted to mind through this situation real quick, get people's opinions on it. And I had a video I wanted to bring up. And I'll play this video for a second, and then we'll mind through this real quick. So I wanted to get y'all opinions. It's a hot topic, obviously, so we'll get right into it here.
Guys, I've been getting a lot of emails.
Let me get my timestamp. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Go over and subscribe to this channel. His brother be cooking over there. But we're going to go ahead, found my timestamp. Here we go.
Johnathan Majors was at a bar in Brooklyn. In returning home from the bar in Brooklyn, his girlfriend was also inside of the taxi. Now, it appears that Mr. Johnathan Majors, Give me like some text messaging sounds in the background, guys. Yeah, he was text messaging with some other lady when his girlfriend confronted him while she was trying to sneak a peek at his phone. Now stop the show. Look, I don't like nobody looking at my goddamn phone. I pay this bill. You don't pay no bill. How you up in my stuff? I pay the bill.
So there we go. To start it off, we'll get back into this, but that's how it started. Mr. Johnathan Majors, he's the hottest thing on the scene right now. He's a young bachelor, and he living his dreams out, right? And he was in the car with the young lady. Let's see if we can pull a picture up. Correct me if I'm wrong. I see you had the picture on your page. We'll see if we can get the picture up of her, and we'll mine that out. And she was looking over his shoulder as he's sitting there texting another woman. He doing his thing, right? Young, he in LA, he hot, doing his thing. But now he catching hell because he was, for all intents and purposes, they on his ass on TikTok. They saying he was in the car with Becky and they on his ass. So they on his ass on TikTok. All right. So you know how them sisters is over there. When they get a hold of something on TikTok, I'm trying to tell you, they're going to grind it down to the most finest of most granular, like sand. So they grind his brother up and they try to say, well, if he was with a sister, this wouldn't have happened. I beg to differ. I don't know. But we're going to mine through this. So correct me if I'm wrong. Come on in. I see you like you chopping at the bit.
First off, I don't know where Poke is at, but he was on my show not too long ago, and he said we never see rich men with average women. And this is an example of where the fuck he was wrong, because she is below fucking average. She is below average. So for him to have all of this paper and the status that he has, that's your bitch. I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all gonna have to edit that. That's your shorty.
Look at Tiger Woods, though. Look at Tiger Woods, same thing.
But Tiger Woods don't even identify as one of us, though.
That is true.
I ain't even tripping about what Tiger doing.
He need to subscribe to this channel. He'll be in a better position. But you're right, he don't.
But damn near every black American woman would want to fuck with Johnathan Majors, and that's your bitch. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, you want to smoke now or later?
No, I was just saying. That's what you said, bro. You said rich men never have an average woman.
I don't think
that's below average.
I don't think any sister want that brother. They was talking bad about that brother on the social media I was seeing. Whenever he was on the cover of Vogue, they were saying he ain't all that.
Oh yeah.
He ain't you buying whatever. So there you go. And it seems to, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like our sisters do not like a man unless he is displaying that goofy, hood, toxic masculinity. And brothers like him, they ain't doing it.
I got something to say, man.
So here we go, Banger. I get you in here. Hey, Fee, shout out Fee. I see you in here. Hey, Banger, I'm getting Fee in here first. Fee, I get you in here first. I'll go to you, Banger. I know Fee ain't got a lot of time. But Fee, the question was, like you said, you see his lady in the car, and the sisters on TikTok said if he was in the car with Keisha, this wouldn't have happened.
All right, that's bullshit, because Tory Lanez was in the car with Megan and this shit happened.
Real talk.
But he shot.
Same shit happened to Bill Cosby. It's anytime that there's like a prominent black figure, first they emasculate him. You see him stuck with somebody that like Marcus said, below subpar. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna hop right back in, bro. I gotta go take to this meeting, but
gotcha.
Continue with the smoke.
But Gav, I only say below average like that because of the status and what he has, and he can probably have damn near any woman that he wants. And for you to go after that, and it's not like I don't know, was she with him shooting in the gym? Like what's up? Like I
that's his girlfriend. They just hanging out.
He's trash.
All right. Allow me to respond. I'm not going to defend her looks, but what I said still stands. I mean, okay, maybe you could find one or two or three. From what I understand, Charles Barkley's wife is very ugly. You know what I mean? But still, what I said was right. It's very hard to find a rich man that got an ugly wife. That's super hard to do. So okay, we found one that has a average looking
I had
girlfriend.
to fuck with you, bro. I had to.
I know you came at me, but I also would say she's only average because I haven't seen enough pictures to say like she's trash or she's ugly or anything
That's the
like
only
that.
one you need.
Oh, you know
Man,
what? That's true. That's true. That's true. I'm not even gonna play
I
myself
mean,
like that.
come
That's
on,
true.
bro.
That's true. She on the red carpet. She on the red carpet. So that is true.
All right, well here's the bigger
That is true.
question. Like I said, if he was with a
Marcus, you ain't
sister,
right.
they said if he was with a sister, would he have these problems?
Okay, can I answer that? Okay, all right. While I had the mic, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. We have data, stats, and statistics. We have actual facts. We have what they call facts. Okay, and the facts is Black women are the least married women in America, and they divorce at an 80% clip. So what that means is, damn near nobody wants to marry them, and then when you get married, they're probably going to divorce you. Okay, so that right there makes them very, very dangerous and scary. But on top of that, I don't never see nobody talking about Black men that's with white women in successful, happy relationships. We all do this though. We all sit back and wait for a bad situation. Be like, see, but nobody be like, damn, look at that brother. He been married to her for 20, 30 years. Everything's all good. So I'm not a fan of all that, man. I'm not a fan of all that, man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry because how I look at it is.
Hold on. Let me finish my statement.
Go ahead.
There's too many examples of sisters doing just as crazy as shit. And then you brought up Tory Lanez and an old girl, and you're like, oh, he shot her. Well, why did he shoot her? And number one, he didn't shoot her, but why did he shoot her? Yeah, allegedly he shot her, but why did he shoot her?
Guilty of that shit.
The point of the matter is there's a lot of chaos and toxicity all around the situation.
I feel
so this isn't particularly a race situation. Not this one.
I agree.
So that's all.
What you were saying though, I have no problems with people date who it is that they want to date, marry, and all of that type of stuff. But some do have issues with if you are a well-to-do man, you are wealthy, and you are married to someone of the dominant society. When you pass away, none of that money is going to your community. And all of that paper is going to the dominant society.
That's still not a reason for me to marry. Listen, when you have an 80% divorce rate, 80% of the time she's going to file. So you mean to tell me you're gonna get into a marriage because my money gonna go to her? Ain't nobody thinking about that when they get married.
I think they
Ain't nobody thinking about
that they do.
You're thinking about a way to protect your money. I don't want my money going to nobody but my kids. I'm not going to
50 years. You don't want millions of dollars to go to your black wife. That's what you're telling me. Just your kids.
Not if she divorced me in the most embarrassing way and she turned out to be a terrible person. What do you mean? Just because she's black, she deserves all my money?
No, I'm not.
Are you kidding me?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah. Once
you going in this with those preconceived notions though?
Well, I'm speaking of somebody that's been divorced before. Hey, what's going on with the sound?
I was asking. I'm trying to get where you're coming from because I'm about to get married. So I'm not into this. I kind of agree with what you're saying as far as not wanting nobody.
Hey, Fee, you got a lot of noise in the background, brother. A lot of noise.
My bad. It was out in the joint, but what I was saying is because I'm about to get married. You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't not want my wife to have access to the funds that I got, but I'm not just out here making it just for me to give to her.
Right.
So
I agree.
I agree with you on that part. I just wanted to know if that was where you was coming from. You was going into a relationship with those preconceived notions, or this is coming from experience, and clearly it's coming from experience. You know what I'm saying? So
it's coming from experience. I was married to a black woman. I'm about to marry a white woman. So it's coming from experience. And all I'm trying to say is when it comes to marriage, you're talking about business and you're talking about love. All right. So, but what trumps what? Business or the love? The business should always trump. When it comes to marriage, the business should trump the love. All right. You got to be thinking in a business sense when you're about to get married. Okay. So at that point, let's take a look at these numbers. Let's take a look at the data, the stats, and the actual facts. And the facts of the matter is, it is not working out for brothers when they marry black women. That is the fucking facts. That's not experience. That's not my own personal opinion. It's just the fucking facts.
So what are you saying?
So what I'm saying is, I mean, I can't.
Should we go be passport boys?
No, I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that I can't.
Period for
No. Listen, one thing about me, I'm never at a point where I'm going to diss black woman. I've never been at that point. I ain't never going to get to that point. But all I'm trying to say is, I can't look at Johnathan Majors' situation and say that this is because she was a white woman, and that's the what they call it, the tonization, or that's the implication of some of these videos. It's like, oh, she's a white woman. See how it went bad because she's white. No, I can't go there with that one. I can't go there with that one. Because it goes left whether they white or whether they black, man. Like, and also the charges got dropped, and the woman said that ain't none of that shit true. So this is not a situation where it's like, oh, see, he was dealing with that white girl. So see, nah, that's not this.
Well, shit, if it's gonna go motherfucking wrong, it's gonna go wrong with a sister. That's just how I feel.
Okay, fine.
Hey,
go
Pope,
ahead, Mr. Diz, go ahead.
And to be honest, Pope, a lot of the sisters were saying that then, and then the add fuel on the fire with him being with a white woman, they were the one that was fueling that, already accusing them of being an abuser, and all the information didn't come out then. So that's where a lot of that came from.
Let me say this real quick. I think the overall point, no matter if she was black, white, Asian, Latino, I want to get you in here, Mr. Whittick. My question is, was he slacking on his macking? All right. You see what I'm saying? We missing the point. Yeah. You're sitting there texting. Should this already been in order? This is a high profile brother. You in the car with me, it's gonna be understood. You just hanging out with me, we cool, whatever. I might be texting somebody. Should this all have been understood, under control? And this guy to go in to what we talk about on our single by choices about men lying to women and stuff like that, and stuff along them lines. So
yeah, he's tripping for not just the
lie.
men.
You ain't got nothing to worry about. Tell the damn truth.
Right. He should just be single. You know what I mean? At the stage he's at, he's powerful. Like, people are looking to bring you under. And I agree. I think this could happen regardless. But I do think that you can't underestimate the power in a white woman's tears. You know what I'm saying? Like, we
know it, and they know that.
Big facts.
We've seen the history behind that, from Emmett Till, Central Park 5, even the homie 2 years ago, where the dog walking lady, like, they know how to, and all women know how. All women know how to. My daughter did it today. They know how to get a man's protective sense to come out, and when they call the police, they know how to rev up that danger. All women do, but it's even more dangerous for us as white men. So as black men. But he wasn't on his game at all. He need to let her go and just be single and do him. He's tripping.
Hey, Seth, to add to that, look what happened with Michael Irvin during the Super Bowl. Same thing.
Bullshit.
Same thing. And then, they pulled this brother. They start pulling this brother's commercial too. I think he had one with the Army. They pulled this commercial.
Cowboy, man. I don't know.
Real quick, Pete, give me a second. We got the comments going crazy. I'm gonna give Pope the floor because they coming after you, and these are some of our loyal subscribers. And this melanated A1, Courtney loves some of these women. I don't know if you got anything you want to say to them. They trying to, obviously they got what they got to say.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate you doing that because I've seen that. But as my comment said, I never came for black woman. I never did that. And my experience with a black woman did not lead me to a white woman. That's totally inconsequential. You know what I mean? I just found some love. That's it. You know what I mean? But I'm never going to sit here and say black women are bad or white women are bad or blah, blah, blah. I never said none of that. I've been on Correct Me If I'm Wrong show plenty of times. I've never said none of that. But what I have said is we can look at the actual facts, the data, the statistics, the real shit. This is not my experience. This is not my opinion. The actual facts. The facts say that black women are the least married woman on the planet. And the facts say that even when they get married, they're going to divorce you at an 80% rate. Right there, that's a fucking scary ass fucking statistic. So I'm not saying that my experience led me to white woman, because that never happened. When I met my fiance, she fucking blew my socks off, and she's an amazing woman, and I fucking love her, and that's really all that it is to that.
Is
So
it
it
80% black
has
women,
nothing.
or is it women in general who initiate
It
divorce in
is
80%?
it is women in
women in
general.
general.
It is women in
Okay.
general. However, black woman is the least married woman on the planet, though. That's the other part. So you know that's kind of wild that you're the least married and you still going to divorce at the same clip, as opposed to somebody else that gets married normally and then you divorce. But
But
the
I'll say
point I'm
this
trying to
real
make,
quick.
I just
My
want to
only
make this. I
question
just
is
want to
this:
make this clear. Hold on one second,
As
sir.
another fact, though, as
Hold
another
on one
fact,
second, bro. Hold
I'm
on one
sorry. Go
second,
ahead.
bro. Please, because I want to make this clear. My mother's a black woman. I got sisters as a black woman. I love black women.
referring to
This
me
is
or
not this is not no fucking attack on black women. Like I would never, no matter where I got in my life, you know what I mean? I would never fucking attack the sisters. So I want to make that fucking clear. And now I'm cool.
Yeah. And I would never say that you're attacking them. I know you know where, you know what I'm saying, where that's at, because obviously you just say you got black mothers, sisters, and all that. Just to go with some of the factual things with that, I just want to throw one other fact in as well, is that, when you look at us as human beings, the black woman's the lowest of the all beings. So let's look at that and how the world looks at black women and why they may be, have that married least amount of numbers. When I think a lot of us brothers nowadays are definitely waking up and are understanding how powerful the black woman is. And we're going back after our queens like never before, as of right now. I do feel like that. But just overall, the way society paints the picture, it always paints the picture as a black woman as the least of all humans. So let's make that clear on why that number might be so low. And now let's focus on, how we can get that number higher, obviously. And we got to retrain our queens. And just like they got to retrain our kings, you know what I mean? When it comes to just us black empowerment coming back together, because it was designed. Separating the black household was designed to go this way. So,
So
just throwing that fact in.
no. So how do we retrain our queens?
That's a bad term to use. I'm sure they don't hear like, y'all not
And I
gonna
would love you.
retrain us.
I would love you. I would love you to know that
They're
not
only
one black
American
woman, not one black woman will appreciate you saying they need to be retrained.
Yeah,
But
Well,
that's a bad term
let
to
me
use.
hear. Let me hear how we're supposed to retrain our queens.
Absolutely. It's not just the black woman. I said the men, the kings, retrain the black woman and our queens to retrain us kings. It's basically, we got to forget what was taught to us, what the books they gave us. We got to drop all that. We got to go back to where we started at and kind of just go from the roots that we're bred from. You know what I mean? Like, again, the knowledge of us not reading for 400 years, they purposely hid that from us. And then they gave us some stuff that wasn't even our stuff. So we got
Okay,
to
brother. So
disconnect from
how
these
do we
people.
retrain them? How we retrain our queens?
Again, my brother, it comes with us men. We got to be accountable for what's coming, what we raising. Are we raising our kids right? We as men have to be the ones setting the examples. Are we setting the proper examples? Right now, us men is weak when we look at it overall. Like we say a lot about the women. But I myself, I ultimately throw it back on the black man, because again, we allowed this to happen. This should never happen. This is our kingdom. You know what I mean? So we should hold our house, you're respected in your house, you be respected in the world. We got to train our queens to raise our little kings and young queens to be queens. But our young queen out here twerking. That ain't queen like or modest.
The feminist
this is not
movement
our
was a
this is not our
motherfucker.
kingdom. We're
That's
not
all
in
I
our
can
This is
kingdom.
say.
an American-based
This is not our
topic.
kingdom. That's
This
our
is not
problem.
worldwide when it comes to black. Black is only
It's
labeled in America. Go to another country, they ain't gonna be like, I'm just black. They claim they country.
But
They
that's an
claim
FBA
they
thing, though.
tribe.
That black America, we are completely different than any other black person in this world. So I'm not upset about being called a black American.
I'm not saying we not black. I'm saying that the origins of where we come from is where everything originated at, man. We can't just go off a number of saying, oh, all the black, let's say for instance, all the black men ain't shit. You can't use that in, okay, all of you telling me everybody from America all the way down to the bottom of fucking Africa ain't shit. in
No,
jail?
I think when they
No.
say
We
that,
got
when they say
kings
black
everywhere
men,
else.
I think they
Come
are
on,
simply
man.
talking about black American men. I don't think if you was talking about a Haitian, you're gonna say a Haitian, a Jamaican, a Nigerian, a Nigerian. When they say black, they talking about us, black American men. That's it.
But I heard the topic of global, not just in the U.S. That's why I said what I'm saying.
I've never heard anybody else labeled as black anywhere else besides
when it comes
When you
the
leave
United
out the
States.
country, you're American. There is
Right.
no black. There is no white. You're an
Correct.
American.
So you don't
You're
have
a
no race.
stupid American.
So you telling me if I go over to China, I ain't black?
No, you're an American. They're gonna call you an American, but that's just it's just a world recognized term. But you're still an American. They're not gonna be like that black guy over there. They're gonna be like that American. You know what I'm saying? That concept the concept of white people didn't even exist until like 1865 or something like that. That term did not exist. You were where you were from.
Yeah, because even
Most
what
of us,
happened down that kidnapping down in Haiti, they said when they stopped the bus, they told all of the Americans to get off. Now I believe everybody on the bus was black. I believe, but they said they wanted the Americans to get off, and there was 2 black Americans on there who ended up getting off the bus and kidnapped.
I'd have been looking around like, y'all talking me?
Hey,
well, you talking to me? That's how I'd have been. Like, real shit. I would have put on the Nigerian voice real quick.
Fast.
I will say that, man. Other countries
Real
got
talk.
women in office,
If I may.
women running shit, man. Only in America they label as they suck, and I'm not taking up for everybody because there's some ghetto ass people out here. But
I can dig it.
you know what I'm saying? I'm being honest, like on a real tip, man. You go to other countries, it's women running shit like they should and doing with their job, and a lot of people are married, man, holding it down. America separates shit by class. That's why that actor is in a bad position.
Hey, Gab, did y'all see that? I don't know if y'all put that comment up there about please bring back segregation. Maybe then we'll be able to learn to love us again.
We would. Because our great grandparents and shit, when they did all that migrating, what they do? Stuck together. Then women
We
didn't
didn't have
have
a
a
choice.
problem then.
We had no choice.
Them black women was dope then. They was dope as hell. They was holding their household, no complaining, and they wasn't ratchet.
Willie Earl still had 2 other families across another plantation, though.
Can I comment on that comment real quick?
Yeah.
Cause like I get what that comment said, like bring back segregation. I'm not opposed to it, but maybe then you will relearn to love us again. I didn't know how to take that at first because me reading it again, it sounded like this king queen is saying like men need to relearn how to love women again. And if that is the case, could not be. I think that everybody would benefit. I said this a couple of times on the Joe, from reading the Black Man's Guide to Understanding a Black Woman, because that right there will put perspective in the type of woman that you got, the type of woman that she is, where she come from, and it's also going to let her know about like how she was raised and the things that she was exposed to that she might not actually like notice back then, especially like with the women's rights movement and all of that. Like that was when all of us started getting kicked out of the house because they put everything on the government's shoulders and like, all right, government daddy got you. You know what I'm saying? Kick everybody else out, destabilize the neighborhoods and all of that other bullshit. But I would think that if more people read more shit of substance, even if you just like audiobooking, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that tells you about certain times and how it was, that makes a whole bunch of other shit make way more sense. Like I understand a whole bunch of shit why women do some of the shit that they do. I understand why we do some of the shit that we do, and it's all because of how we grew up and what we were exposed to. But on one more thing before I get off, but on the other subject of, well, the subject that we were talking about, I think that the case with Johnathan Majors, I think that white girl is his handler, and he crossed the line with his handler. So I think that's what's going on. It's like a Kim Kardashian Kanye type thing. You know what I'm saying? Kim Kardashian was Kanye's handler, in my opinion. That's how I feel about it. But like, when you cross your handler, and when you in that upper echelon, and you up there, when you up there, things like, it's certain things that we might not even catch, but it's certain things that are actually like right in your face, but it's hard to like put things together. Just like with the whole handling thing that I'm talking about. Whenever somebody like mess with their handler or something like that, it's always bad, especially with black men, and it's always, well, 9 times out of 10, it's always dealing with white women. So.
Okay, so here we are. We back to bro. We're gonna bring this full circle. Go ahead with it. Go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, before we move on, I feel like to the last thing that I seen put up about we got to train our kids. I feel like there is a lot of support and love from black women. I do feel like there's a lot of issues with our black women as well, the same with us. And I feel like how the homie said we got to train our kids because they're the future. I don't even think that it's about us showing each other love. I think that our focus as a people is off. I think that we got to learn to focus more on purpose and build in the community, because whenever a person especially a man, when a man fully focuses on his purpose and his mission, he starts to realize how important the right partner by his side is. And he starts to look for those qualities. Our issue is our addictions. We're addicted to sex well into our 40s before we're even successful. We're addicted to porn. We're addicted to chasing money. We're addicted. And I'm not talking bad about having multiple women. You can love multiple women. I'm not against polygamy or none of that. I'm talking about the addictions to the sex and the things that take us away from our purpose. This is what destroys our community and causes this divide to where we're now masculine versus feminine and all of that, where the real root of it is we were never taught to chase purpose and to build. And that's where everything stems from, is the core of that. So that's what we need to teach the next generation. First, ourselves is to chase purpose and to chase mission. And then I guarantee, because like Poke said, we're godly people. And that's what God wants us back focused on. And once we do that, a lot of things will start to align back to where it's supposed to be.
He shouldn't have made sex feel so goddamn good then.
Hey, talk that talk.
That's all, you know what I'm saying? God damn, it's
Turn
just like
up.
crack.
Okay, so go ahead, Poke. What you got?
All right, so I man, I got a whole lot. My brother was talking about retraining our black woman. And to piggyback off of what Seth said, because Seth made some great points. A whole lot of this issue is we're not understanding completely as a unit the situation that we're in. This, for us, should never be a gender war. It should never be a gender war. But I saw my sister's comment while y'all was talking, and she was like, oh, this shows how black men feel about us, and, you know, or something to the effect of when a black man gets killed, we're the first ones, and this is how we feel about y'all. And to me, that is very crazy, because damn near every single black leader that we had were men. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Muhammad Ali. These are men that cared about black women. You know what I mean? There's never been a time in history where black men didn't care and love and protect black women. There's never been a fucking time, ever. But they've gotten to a point where they feel like we don't protect them. They want to do their own thing. We don't tell our black women where to work. We don't tell our black women what to wear. We can't tell our black women who to sleep with or whatever. We have no control over our black woman. We're the only race that don't have a control over our women. White men have got control over white women. The Mexican man got a control over Mexican woman. The Asian man has a control over the Asian woman. We are the only race that don't have a control over our woman. And then they turn around and tell us we don't protect them. it's awfully hard to protect you when we can't fucking say a fucking thing to you.
So
How
like
the
I
fuck?
get
Go
that.
ahead.
I
agree
get
with
that.
that.
I definitely respect that. Won't disagree with
But let
anything
me
you guys
finish.
said.
If you want to ask me a question, ask me a question. But let me finish what I was saying. Though. I
Okay.
was trying to cook.
I'm trying to eat.
All right,
Go
cool.
ahead,
That
Poke.
you
You got
is
it, Poke.
big nasty. Hey, you know
Mhm.
what?
Come on.
Ultimately, like what you said, Poke. You know, but here's the thing. Men, it's not hard to get a woman on your page. This is from my experience. Whenever you are standing strong and firm on your square, the time when I wasn't standing firm on my square and doing my due diligence as a man, I had issues. But as soon as I hunkered down and got rid of that you know what I'm saying, that bitch in me, I don't know how else to put it, then things come full circle. If a man is standing firm on his square, you don't have to ask a woman to get on your page or to listen to you or to fall under your instruction. It just goes hand in hand, and that's something as men we need to understand. If you're
Thank you,
doing what you
Willie.
do as a man wholeheartedly, you will have no problems. Don't ask me how I know. Trust me.
Okay.
Just do what
Okay.
you
Hey,
do.
Willie. This is an interesting thing about what you're saying. Okay, so when it comes to black men, it's always about the elite, right? So when it comes about black men, we gotta learn how to be the most fucking elite to be with our woman. But this is
I
what we
don't think
never
it be
fuck.
true, Pope.
But this is what we never consider. This is what we never think about. The white man could be an average earner. He could be an average fucking man. He could be a fucking janitor. He could be a bus driver. He could fucking make $50,000 a year, and he could get a woman to be submissive to him and raise his family. The Mexican man could be a landscaper, and he could get his fucking whole fucking family in order and fucking do that. Black men, we got to be elite.
I
We gotta
disagree.
fucking be
I
elite.
disagree.
We gotta
I
fucking
disagree.
we
Problems you got
well,
agreeing with that
let me finish my statement. You know what I mean? Let me finish my statement. This is the thing. I'm going by numbers. So numbers wise, it shows the black men make $40,000 to $50,000 a year. Right? White man on average makes $50,000 to $55,000 a year. It's literally a $10,000 difference. And they still have their family intact. Our sisters, our women, they hold us to the highest degree. What do they want? They want a man that's making six figures. They want a man that's making $100,000 a year. Unfortunately, guess what? The stat and the DATs and the actual facts show that only 1% of black men is making $100,000 a year. That's the fucking facts of the matter. Okay, so if your man ain't making $100,000 a year, you need to mate with someone that's making $40,000 to $80,000 a year. But that's not what they want. They want the guy that's making $100,000 a year. That's their goal. And that is literally 1% of black men. So you have a bunch of women looking for 1% of men. Think about that for a
But
second.
it's irrational, man. This
You
is
know
so
what?
irrational.
real quick. Let me let me
Go
get
ahead,
here
Gavin.
real quick. All right. So real quick, pay some bills real quick while we here. Shout out to Melanated A1. She's definitely the show sponsor. Make sure y'all hit the Cash App. The link's in the description. But I was gonna pose this question here, bring it all full circle, if we will. Because we all it's all rooted in one thing. This guy's a young man in Hollywood. At the end of the day, is the bachelor life worth it? If he was in that car with his wife and he was devoted to her, he wouldn't be in the news right now because he wouldn't have been on his phone texting another woman. Now,
Allegedly.
I mean, that's just what I'm saying. I'm gonna pose that question. So shout
Allegedly.
out my man Sir
Allegedly.
and you know what I mean? Just devil's advocate, if you will.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
shit,
But it
I'll
don't
answer that.
matter.
I'll answer that real quick. I
It really
mean,
don't matter.
it's better to be a bachelor. Listen, it's way more dangerous to be married. Being married is way, way,
What
way more
Gabrielle
risky.
Union say?
Hey, Fee, where you at? Fee sound like you in Baghdad somewhere, man.
Fee is at J&L Steel Mill right now.
Okay.
Hey,
Let's go.
It's all
Here we
good.
go.
I'm about to head out here, yo. It's good talking with y'all, gentlemen, man.
Hey,
I'll
appreciate
be
you for
in the
coming up,
next
G.
one.
You all,
Yes,
P.
sir.
You all.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Let's get some
No doubt.
context about how being married is dangerous today. If you marry today, if you marry and you don't build with the person that you married with, you run a very strong risk of losing that deal. But if
Goddamn right.
when you build with a person and y'all grow together and y'all are actually have pure intentions towards each other, you don't have these issues. And one thing we can't deny, as far as all of our experiences, you are who you attract. That don't just go for women, that goes for men too. You are who you attract. So any
Fucking hit
bad,
it on the head, Willie.
yes.
Go
So
ahead,
any bad
Willie. Put up on the big screen.
as bad experience we had, whether it's with white women, black women, as men, you ultimately must always take accountability. Always. There is no question. Straight like that. So this actor dude, it's all on him. I think he should either be 100% single and tell it like a T.I. is, say, hey, baby, like Gavin said, you with me for the moment. We here for a good time, not a long time. Or settle down and play it straight and narrow. Straight like that. But if you want to go ahead and play these twisted games in today's society and culture and do the whole, hipster Rolling Stone thing, they got a place for you. Don't play the games. Because Hollywood, ain't Hollywood. Hollywood's a cruel monster.
Hey Marcus, what do I always say to you? And my man Willie backed me up on this one. This is a big problem in our community. We raise our girls to be bad mates. And Willie just said, when you're a man, you gotta always take responsibility. And that is the biggest difference, and that's the number one difference. Women never take accountability, and men will always take accountability. When you see a divorce or you see a breakup, it is always the man's fault. Always. And guess what else? That man will not be a better man. He won't do better in life, and he won't get a better girlfriend unless he takes accountability, figures out what he did wrong in that relationship, and become a better man. That's the only way that he actually does better.
Listen, I talked to a group
females,
of women.
They could be trash. They could be trash over and over and over and over again. Men, we can't do that. We got to get better. We got to get into the gym. We got to make more money. We got to become better people. We got to figure out ways to improve who we are. Like, if you are in a long-term relationship and you get broken up with, you better fucking figure out what the fuck you need to make better about yourself. But women never got to do that. They never got to do that, and that is why we're at an advantage. That gives us an actual advantage on them.
I don't think so.
My issue with what you just said is basically you're saying that we need to raise ourselves to meet the standards of these women.
No, what I'm saying,
Can I finish real
go
quick?
ahead, my bad, bro. My bad.
Because basically, what you instead of holding women accountable, basically and this is what I get. This is how I interpret what you're saying. I'm not saying that this is what you mean, but how I interpret what you said was basically men need to become more successful. Men need to be doing this, that, and the third. Everything is always put on the man's shoulders. Whenever the woman raised the standard for the man, and they keep raising the standard for the man, it shouldn't be all on our shoulders. Yes, we do need to take accountability because at the end of the day, it is a man's job to take accountability. However, that's not the issue in today's society, in my opinion. In my opinion, today's society keeps spoon feeding women and allowing them to get away with murder, bro. And no matter how much a man can max out at success. What you're saying, a man can do all of those things and still end up being on the short end of the stick. So I don't think that is the overall solution to the problem.
What was your question, though?
It sounds like y'all agree with each other.
Yeah, because it sounds like we agree.
No.
What
I'm saying is, I said I disagree with having the man having to keep raising himself. I disagree with that part. It's not that a man shouldn't want to keep raising himself. I'm saying that the fact that the man has to keep raising himself to meet the standards of a woman, it shouldn't be like that.
Okay, brother.
That's what I'm saying. And from what I interpreted from you is you're saying that we should desire that, correct?
Nah, brother, you lost me.
All right, so
All
maybe
Yeah,
all right, so
he was saying that is the expectation that women hold on us. That's what he was saying.
all
He was
right,
saying that women hold that expectation on us is what he was saying.
all right. So
Or technically, I guess, male perspective, who knows, perspective as well. But yeah, nah.
all right, so yeah, my
It's
apologies.
just the
I might
way,
have missed some
and
things.
and the craziest part about it is, it's a lot of the dads, like the dads that have daughters. Like I was listening to my car to a rap song. I forget the name of it. I wanted to take a picture of it, but it was a rapper. He was telling his daughter like things to look out for a man. And it sounded really good on surface, but it was a much of the same, like, never trust a man, or,
That Seven Rules song.
no, 7 rules. There you
Yeah,
go. Yes.
I think it was like 7 Rules or something. He went down
Yes.
7 rules.
The seven rules song, right?
Yeah.
Yo, but the thing is this: if you take a deeper look to the 7 rules song, it'll give you an idea of what's wrong with women, because the men we're raising our daughters to not need men and to not trust men too. You see what I'm saying? But we don't raise our boys like that. We raise our boys to love women. We raise our boys to trust women. We raise our boys to do anything for women. We raise our boys that, wait,
False
you
story.
didn't do this?
Not any goddamn thing. We're not going that goddamn far. We ain't about to do that.
No. Okay. Well, for the minute I was raised, it was, make sure women don't cheat. Women are good. Make sure you open the doors. Make sure you're doing this and make sure you're doing that. You make sure you serve women. I was raised to serve women. That's
Don't
how I
be a
was
sucker
raised.
though. That's my message
Bro,
to my
I'm not
son.
saying,
Don't be no sucker out here for no woman.
I'm not saying be a simp. I got 2 boys. I'm not saying be a simp.
He's saying
I'm not
chivalry,
saying
bro.
that. I'm just saying chivalry. Like, just be respectful and always, you can't have a wife unless you are valuable to that woman.
Agreed.
Like, that's how I've always been raised. You gotta bring value to the table. We do not raise our women to bring value to a man. We don't do that. Even by dads and by men. Men don't tell their daughters like what men want. We give our daughters cheat codes on how to play men. We give our daughters cheat codes on how to be successful without men, because that's your daughter and that's who you love. But we don't raise daughters to be like, this is how you serve a man. And this is how you'll be happy with a man. That's the fucking difference.
Is that because a lot of us ain't shit? And it's like
No,
we
it's
done
not.
done a lot of ain't shit stuff. So now we're able to tell our daughters what to look out for.
I think we're reciprocating what we've been taught. I think it's pretty much what you've been taught, you kind of like pass down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, as me growing up as a man with the men in my life, it's always been like that coach player situation where, right after the game, we're going to talk about what you did wrong. We're going to talk about what you did right as well. Whereas men, that's what we do with each other. We're going to tell each other the good and the bad, where I feel like women don't have that kind of process with each other. All they do is build each other up. You know what I'm saying? That's why they get to their 30s and 40s and they still think they're in their 20s. Whereas if I'm in my 30s, my boy's going to tell me, bro, you ain't young no more. For sure. Women, that's a no-fly zone with women.
There you go.
You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like, and even as us as fathers, like, we don't so much preach accountability to our daughters, but we preach accountability to our sons. And we need to find a way to teach the women in our lives how to have these constructive conversations with each other without just trying to don't build up, but also bring that critique. Whereas men, critique is there. You're going to tell me the truth. Whereas with a woman, you might try to tote the line. Like, I don't want to hurt her feelings a little bit. We're taught not to hurt women's feelings.
There you go.
Do y'all remember me saying that this boy Seth Whitted articulates himself like no other? That man is a beast. Thank you, bro. Like, you really got my point across, man. Good stuff, man.
Real quick, Serge, I'll get you in here first. I want to bring this full circle. All right. So the net of it, Johnathan Majors was arrested. We just heard what happened. They were in the limo. He was texting. She looked over his shoulder. He was texting another woman. She tried to snatch the phone out of his hand. Then she said he turned around and he strangled her, maybe hit her a little bit, and she went to. That's what she told the police. Then she went back next day and dropped the charges. Now, Mr. Johnathan Majors here, he just got done planning the movie where he's boxing and fighting, right? They say he has a history of domestics, DV on his record. He has an offense. So people are saying something could have happened, then she went and dropped the charges. She said she was strangled, this and that. So my net of it is, could something have happened in that limo, or is this brother completely innocent?
My fault.
In my opinion,
Some could have
some could have happened.
That's what I feel. Something happened.
Nobody was
probable?
there. Nobody was there.
Probable that it happened? I would hope not. You would think somebody with, this much resources at this point in his life would be smarter. I don't know.
He choked that bitch all up in that motherfucker. That's what he did. He choked the shit out of her in that motherfucker. He didn't beat her, but he choked her.
You got some brothers on the other end, Willie. When they get that money, they feel invincible. So therefore, they on the opposite end, feeling like they could put their hands on somebody and get away with it. You know what I mean? So y'all look at it from that way too.
But Gab, you was talking about like there's been a history of this, and I watched this on another show when they were saying he went to Yale or something like that. Is that correct? Is there back in those days that people who knew him then, they were saying like this isn't a surprise. They figured something like this would eventually come out because of the history he has with this. Now, did he beat her ass all up in there? I ain't gonna say that, but I do believe something did happen though.
I find it amazing for a man like this to be on top of the world right now, cover of Vogue and the hottest movies. All of a sudden, this come out, and now everybody remember when he was being violent.
And that's
this is when I started to get into my conspiracy side, man.
Yeah, I feel you.
And it just because at the end of the day, there ain't no hate in my heart, and I hate to see any successful brother or sister fall like this. But this is due to his own stupidity, and I'm sorry.
Well, clearly he's not a good decision maker because he ended up with her.
There you go.
All right,
that is a terrible decision.
So
yeah, he moving a little wonky. Money don't make you smart, I guess.
Money doesn't make you smart, but at the same time, he's going to be judged by his history regardless.
They say he's going to end up like Chris Brown.
And that's the thing. But here goes the thing, though.
Chris Brown. Now he got the Chris Brown
all right,
going on for the next 15, 20 years. Good luck.
Let's bring up Chris Brown, though. So Chris Brown has had one allegation that actually he's never been charged. Has he been charged? He's been charged one time.
Now, sir.
No, Chris Brown got charged one time, right? For Rihanna.
Yeah, you said allegation.
No,
he did that.
All right, so
he beat that ass.
He has that one incident, but then people keep bringing up all these other incidents because of that one incident.
That's true.
That are allegations. That's
true.
what I meant to say.
That's true.
So because of Chris Brown's history of his past, it will always follow him. Now, here's the fucked up part about it. Rihanna also was swinging on Chris, but nobody brings that up.
Of course not.
So there we go, Serge. Ask you the question: is the bachelor life worth it? Then,
it depends on what you're willing to go through. That's really depends on what you're willing to go through. In my opinion,
that's a really good question. That is a really good question.
In my opinion, no. I wouldn't be willing because at the end of the day, man, we all human and we all want peace and some sanity. And I mean, like, there's no peace and there's no sanity in that.
There's no peace and sanity in being a bachelor.
No, not being a bachelor and being in a situation such as that, where he has a history, he now has money, he now has success, but his history will always trump his money and his success if anything bad ever happens. His history will always outweigh, no matter what he does, no matter how successful he becomes, people will always remember.
For sure. And especially as a black man, because we see it all the time. We have black victims that die, and they pass something they did in 1997, followed them to 2023. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that to white people. But go ahead.
That's the fucked up part about it. And like once again, it depends on what you're willing to go through. Like some people, being a bachelor is the best thing in the world. Some people, being in a relationship is the best thing in the world. And it could be an iffy situation on any spectrum. Look at
You gotta
Dr.
stay in the
Dre.
middle. You gotta do both.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, look at Dr. Dre. That man was married, and that man went through what the hell he went through, and now he got to give up half, or not half, but he got to give up a good amount. And I mean, for no fucking reason. So, would you rather stay a bachelor in his case? I bet he would. But at the same time, Johnathan Majors, I bet he wishes he chose a different person to court.
How old is Johnathan Majors? Do we know?
I think he's mid-30s, early mid-30s.
That old.
No, he just turned 30. Yeah.
He's like
turned
our
30?
age, man.
Hey, young man.
So he just turned 30.
Just turned 30. He in this for a man. You know, he just hitting his stride. So they said he was supposed to do some big things, and
yeah, man. Well, ain't no up and coming. He there. He there, man.
That you, sir?
That might have been me.
All right, you good?
Yeah, he's there right now. Like his success is, he's damn near he's the new Denzel right now. You know what I mean, or I don't want to put him on that pedestal, but he's the new.
Is he a better actor than Michael B. Jordan?
It's close.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I like Johnathan Majors as an actor. I like the several roles that he played were, in my opinion, enough were different enough for me to actually make an assessment on his acting, and he brings a lot. He brings a lot to that. His characters like that. His movie Devotion, man, really sold me on him. That's really
I like
what
Michael B. Jordan since he was Wallace on The Wire, though.
But I also like Michael B. Jordan too, man. I can't hold them. Both of them too, man.
Okay, what you got, Pope? What you got?
Oh, all right. So listen, I always say this, man. As Black people, we all agree that white supremacy is real, racism is real. We all agree to that. But there's a couple instances where we get blind spots. For women, they get blind spots when it comes down to money. When it comes down to Black men making money and white men making money, all of a sudden, racism isn't all that real. Y'all need to go out there and make more money. Okay? When it comes to Black men and any situations they get in trouble with, if they're with a white woman, we get a blind spot about racism. We automatically chuck it up to, man, he was with that white girl. He was with that white girl. We completely forget about racism, white supremacy. The brother, what's his name? Johnathan Jordan. What's his name? Johnathan what?
Majors.
Johnathan Majors. Okay. The brother is ascending to some unreal, another atmosphere when it comes to acting. And all of a sudden, we forget, man, that white supremacy is out there. And we forget that they're going to attack this man and make sure that they got something to hold over his head before he becomes a superstar, much like they did Oprah Winfrey. Before Oprah Winfrey became a superstar, her dad was into all that them problems. They made it go away. And then they made sure they was like, hey, we can make it come back. So what I'm trying to say is, he's an ascending superstar, and they just want to have something to hold over his head.
But why?
But
Why him and not Michael B. Jordan? No.
Let me finish. But I'm happy you said that. But instead of us saying, you know what, this is them at it again, we're like, see, look at that girl he with. But as far as Michael B. Jordan, keep in mind they put Michael B. Jordan in dresses and blouses every chance they get. So they're working with him, and he's working with them. So all I'm saying is this: I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know every fucking single detail. But what I know is this: what happened with him and that girl has nothing to do with race. It got nothing to do with his girlfriend being white. Nothing at all. I feel like it has a lot to do with oh, we're gonna have something to hold against you. They did it to Bill Cosby. You listen, no black superstar makes it out unscathed. The only one I can think of is Denzel Washington. It's the only one I can think of.
And he's been married for what, 40 years? Other
than that, man, we know that they smash all of our guys. So I'm not surprised by this again. And I really hope that we would start with these blind spots. Man, let's look at who's really the fucking problem. The real issue. You know what I mean? Okay, Johnathan Majors' girlfriend is ugly and she's white. But who's the real fucking problem?
So here we are. I'll pose the final question before we get out of here tonight. We'll bring the whole show full circle, get everybody's final take. Because just from both segments with just Pearly, right? And between this, seems like a lot of people are running in the victim Olympics, as we say. And, you know, do us as black folks, do we need to develop thicker skin and not try to blame, not be so quick to blame everything on the powers that be, if you will?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is deeper than just black folk. It needs to be singled out, man. Like, it's first and foremost, man, black women need to be held more accountable. Y'all gonna hate me for that.
I was just about to say they about to roast Joe.
They gonna roast me for that. I was in the beginning of all this, man. I would be the one that would chime and straddle the fence. I ain't straddling that fence no more, man. Black women need to be held more accountable, a whole lot more accountable. Women in general need to be held more accountable, but black women in specific need to be held more accountable for us to move forward as a society. It's probably not going to happen because there's no incentive. There's no incentive for them to cooperate with anything. Everything is moving in their direction. Yeah, I mean, so I don't see that happening unless an apocalypse happens and they need us. But yeah, black women and women in general need to hold themselves more accountable in order for our society to become better. That's my answer.
So as men, do we leave it to the women to just mature and say, "Oh, I'm going to hold myself accountable today"? You know what I mean?
No.
Like it starts when you start raising your kids, instilling these things into your kids. You can't just say, "I'm going to hold them accountable." Well, they're trying accountability by the teachings that you give them. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to just. It just don't make sense that we as men just leave it to women fully. Ultimately, us as men, we got to raise our kids right. It comes down to us feeding our family. You know what I'm saying? Not just feeding you food physically, but you got to feed your family spiritually and mentally. Like it's more in tune than just relying on women. It's on us at the end of the day as men. And that's why I said earlier, we got to retrain ourselves to really guide our families at the end of the day. It's about disconnecting all that stuff that we're being systematically oppressed by. We gotta let that go. And we got to stop relying on this government. You know, these women relying on food stamps and the housing market and the housing system. Well, of course they don't need no man. Of course they don't need us. If you can go get a crib, 4-bedroom for $25 a month, you know what I mean? So we got to stop relying on this system that's oppressing us. So let's get back to, again, what I was saying, back to our roots of being strong in the household. They're breaking themselves for a reason.
What about
the reason is we're more powerful together.
Though? Like they don't need us for any kind of protection.
So that's the thing, bro.
So this generation, honestly, like for instance, I was going to make this example earlier, is that how we raise our kids today is way different than how the mothers and grandmothers were raised back then. All right, we raise our women today to be independent, right? Because we don't know what these men nowadays. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hey, listen, you might have to go to college and get a degree. You might have to go get this job because you might not find nobody you can rely on and build with. Like Willie said earlier, when you're finding a partner and a soulmate, you finding somebody, with me in my case, me and my wife been together, I think we've been married 13, 14 years this year. I don't even know. I'm starting to lose count. Anyway, you building from the dust on. You ain't just all of a sudden, hey, let's get married, and then all of a sudden you just expecting the foundation to stand. It ain't about to stand. It ain't got nothing to stand on. You got to find that somebody who's going to go through it with you, black or white, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And for us as just black people, we're not raising our daughters to fight for these relationships. You know what I'm saying? These daughters are seeing their mothers twerk and out clubbing and coming home pictures in thigh clothes. Us fathers is allowing this to happen, and grandfathers. So again, I'm not relying on the women to guide us. That's like them guiding us at this point. When our jobs is to guide them. You know, back in the kingdom's days, we used to give our daughters to the men that we think they should be with. They didn't decide who they want to marry. Come on now.
If y'all don't mind me, man, like, could I ask this brother a question? I just want to ask him one question. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, brother. Like, you're saying that we're allowing this to happen, brother. Like, what will we do to stop them from doing it?
We got to find ourselves as men. What do you mean? We got brothers right now that's running these streets being reckless. We got to get our kids and whoop their asses. How we was raised, we got to get back to that family, man.
So what about the men? What about the men that are actually men? They're men. They're men.
What about the men that aren't? The men that are men need to step up and do something with the men that aren't.
So D-Mac, do you know the statistics of men being not in their child's life? Do you know the statistics on that? Because this is the false narrative that a lot of America teaches and projects on us. There are more black men actively present in their children's lives than there are deadbeats.
Right.
And the worst part about it is we don't talk about the men that are actively present in their children's lives. Now I get what you're saying, because
but this ain't about being present. This ain't about being present in lives.
Bro, let me finish.
This is about instilling in what's need to be instilled.
Let me finish.
How are we coaching them?
Earlier, when this podcast first started, I stated there was a question I was asked, and it was, should I be raising my daughter to be independent? I remember that question, and my answer was, I plan on giving my daughter the tools to be independent, but I don't want to teach my daughter to be independent. And even still, in me saying that I plan on giving my daughter the tools to be independent, it still was the wrong thing to say. It was the wrong thing to say of me, because once you give somebody the tools to do something, they're going to figure out how to freaking do it and do it. If you give them the proper tools to do it. If I teach you how to fix a car, are you going to go to the mechanic to fix your car, or are you going to fix your car yourself? So me giving my daughter the tools to be independent, this is what's wrong with society. There's an independence kick for women. And because that's being promoted, there's nothing that us men can really do about it other than fight back vocally. There's really nothing else outside of that. We can teach our kids as much as we want, but we also have an outside influence. That's called society.
I agree. 100%.
And at the end of the day, you talking about whooping our kids' ass, bro. Society is not in the 90s no more, bro. We can't
let me ask you this.
Kids' ass no more, bro.
Yes, you can.
No, bro. The beatings that you got, you cannot give your child. I promise you can't. I got beat with everything in the household, from a belt to a goddamn on high heel shoe to a
let me ask you this.
part of the belt.
So let me ask you this.
If you leave a welt on your child is going into child services.
So let me ask you this, Serge. So yeah, you're right? We can't just you can't just teach them independency, right? You're absolutely right, and it's not wrong. But let's say you're teaching your daughter everything. So what about us? Grooming the men.
We're not teaching our men to be independent. We're teaching
my point exactly. That's my point. That's my point.
So we shouldn't be teaching our daughters to be independent. We should be teaching our daughters to be companions, just like we teach our sons. And that's what we're not doing.
Everybody should be taught how to be self-sufficient, though.
Absolutely.
Be able to be in it. You mold that
Absolutely.
into a team. You know what I'm
because
saying?
guess what happens?
Self-sufficient shit.
Look at all the successful women.
She might not never find no nigga. So what the fuck she supposed to do? Not do shit.
Look at these independent women with men with no jobs in their houses. Let's look at some of these women. Independent women.
Hold on. Bro, so you said what happens if she never finds a nigga?
I just said she may not.
She may not
ever want. She may not ever want to be married.
And that's a possibility. But right now, bro, at this rate, she not gonna find a nigga. Why? Because she's her standards are too high. They're
Fucking right.
unreachable. And so
Fucking
because and the difference between her never but being able to versus her never and probably never being able to is two different things. See, if you train her to how to be a companion, she knows how to be a companion. Whether she ends up being a companion or not is two different things. If you teach her how to be independent, she will never learn how to be a companion. And
Well,
once she is a companion,
I preach to my kids all of the time. Men need women and women need men. But at the same time, you still have to know how to do things for yourself.
all right. So, and I agree with that. There's nothing. There's nothing that you just said that's false, and that's not independence though. The way these motherfuckers thinking now is independence means I can do everything by myself.
Hyper independence.
Like
all they need is dick from
can I
jump in real quick? Yeah.
They don't even
I'm
need
about
us
to say
for
I
that too
don't.
much no more.
Yeah, I don't want to take us down this rabbit hole. That's gonna be a whole nother show right there. But listen, I'm gonna let Pope get in here. I know Whitney got something to say, and Mr. Walker gonna take us out of here.
Thanks, Gav, man. Hey, I could tell, man, by watching y'all show, because I watch y'all show a lot. Man, y'all are being some gracious ass hosts, man. Y'all are doing y'all fucking thing, man. But I just want to say this though. My man proved my point, man. We, especially as men, are not raising our daughters to be good companions. We're not. We are trained to raise our daughters to be enemies. We raise our daughters to say, you know what? Do for yourself and be proud of doing it for yourself. Listen, this is the whole issue. I had this whole discussion with my fiance just the other night. You can do that because, okay, let me give you the backdrop. So she was doing an interview with her daughter that's in college, and that whole idea was, what do women need to do? And her daughter from college asked her a question, what do women need to do? And my fiance said, make sure you have a college degree, make sure you got college education, just in case things don't work out and, you're self-sufficient. And I waited for it to be done with, but this is the thing. We need to start training our daughters to be successful at raising families and being wives. Like, what is so fucking wrong with raising our daughters to be successful at being a wife? See, all they could do is say, well, our granddads or our grandparents and this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we can fix a whole lot of problems. A whole lot of problems. How about we raise our sons to be respectful towards a woman, not be cheaters, not be beaters, and not be fucking disrespectful to the rock. But at the same time, raise our daughters to fucking need our men, to fucking depend on our men, to fucking respect our men. All that shit. What is wrong with that? And this is another thing. This is another thing that really knock your socks off. If we all was born in the 1600s, women wouldn't have no fucking choice. Not a fucking choice. You know why? Because they ain't going out there to fucking hunt down the fucking bear. They ain't going out to hunt down the fucking food. The only reason women got choice is because it's Rite Aid and fucking Walmart and Giant Eagle and Shop and Save and all this stuff is fucking reliable. The point I'm trying to make is we got to be in point with our nature. Our nature. It's nature. Women naturally are there in love with, raising a family, taking care of everything, stuff like that. Women and men are in nature with going out, getting the food, being a provider, being a protector. I mean, if you're outside of that, you ain't gonna be happy. You can survive. You can survive like a woman. A woman could do whatever she wanted to do. She can make a whole bunch of money. She can do it, but she ain't gonna be happy though.
I'll tell you what.
See?
Let me piggyback off you real quick, dear, and I'll pass the mic over to you with, because you said that we got to raise the standards, and I don't get real anecdotal on here with personal stuff, but that was a real good thing you hit on, Pope. And I'll give a quick story. Is I was talking to my daughter. I got a 5-year-old daughter, and she like baby dolls and shit, and we were talking, having a discussion, and just a general discussion about her growing up and getting bigger, and she goes on her talks, and she said, yeah, and it led to a point where she was talking about being a mom, right? And it starts early, like you saying. I said, you gotta first be a wife. I said, one thing don't come before the other. You understand? So when we got to start teaching this stuff, because in our community, being a mother comes first, and then maybe I'll be a wife. But we got to understand that you must be a wife first, and then you can be granted motherhood through being a wife. We got to teach them.
Hey, I agree. So real quick, I want to throw this out there.
Are we
So like,
teaching them not to fuck?
what Poke and Gavin just said
as well.
What Poke and Gavin just said basically it summed up what I mentioned earlier, saying how we got to retrain ourselves. Y'all basically just said it. You said it. We got to reteach our kids. I mean, it's exactly what I said earlier. That was just my point, going back to why I was saying it in a sense. And there was something else, but damn, I forgot. Go ahead. Correct me.
No, I was just saying, are we teaching our kids super early to not have sex until marriage? Because that's the only way you're gonna guarantee for sure that you ain't gonna be nobody's mama.
We not. Sex education probably is one of the furthest things from a lot of parents' minds. A lot of parents are scared to even have a conversation about sex, let alone have an actual in-depth conversation about sex. They don't even want to know if their kids are virgins or not.
I could have all of the conversations in the world with you, but I know what you're gonna be feeling as a 15, 16-year-old male. You know what I'm saying? So for me to tell you do not do this until you find somebody who you want to spend the rest of your life with, I don't know how feasible that really is.
I mean, but explaining the benefits and this, that, and the third, explaining the options, like going in depth and actually giving details and giving examples, giving life experiences, having them talk to people. That's just like whenever they had them shows, them talk shows, and they had them little kids bad as fuck, and they had them kids going to them jail cells on Scared Straight and shit like that. Did it help all of them kids? No. But I guarantee if a couple of them kids were scared to fuck straight, and it fixed a couple of them.
But
is it going to fix all of them? No, you're not going to fix everybody.
You can have those conversations and examples and all of that, but experience is going to be your best teacher, as you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to that.
Real quick, Serge. I'm gonna let Whittick get in here, and I'm gonna let Mr. Diz get in too. I know you've been patiently waiting, brother. We appreciate you for coming up, and Mr. Walker gonna take us on out here. But go ahead, what you got with it?
Yeah, I agree. Like adolescence, like Marquis said, you're going to experience things no matter what you try to teach. But I think one thing that we can get through to our young men is protection, right? Protecting women from weak men. And the reason I say that's important is because things are going to come full circle. Women are going to realize, oh, shoot, I do need to be a wife first. Men are going to start teaching their daughters how to be wives again within this generation and the next. But if we don't change what happened in the past, the reason women have gotten here is because they've gotten hurt by weak men. Strong men haven't really protected. Like you're talking about in the corporate world. Of course, you can't do much in a man's household, but if we can get through to our young men to protect women against weak men, like it was always taught to us, like, go ahead, we throw around jokes, we gonna wrestle, but we never let a man bully. I'm not gonna let you bully this kid over here who's slow in the corner in school. We was the bullies. We gonna bully you ain't bullying around us. If you gonna bully, it's gonna be monster to monster, warrior to warrior. You know what I'm saying? We got to teach our young men to protect, because it is gonna come full circle. You know what I mean? And in order to avoid women going back down this whole feminism route, you know what I mean? I know we got our issues with welfare and racism, but this whole feminism route, if we teach our young men to protect, they will protect while they're having sex, while they're partying, doing all, they will protect. And I think that that's how we can prevent this cycle from happening again.
That's true. Because they're not, like I said, there's not responsible men telling men to wrap it up. And like I was saying to myself, like you said, when my daughter posed that question, if there's no man around, who's here to correct the behavior? Right? So go ahead, Mr. Diaz. What you got with Pastor Mr. Walker after that?
I mean, I pretty much agree with all the brothers said. Only thing I would just add, I mean, I think for all that to take place, it's going to have to be some drastic changes. Like the internet probably going to have to go down for a significant amount of time, some war times or some apocalyptic type shit, to where you get that shift, and then you see the value of the man as the leader, and then the women go back to actually being mothers and nurturers there, and then that's how you have that pretty much some biblical type things there to get that shift back there. So I don't know if it's gonna happen in our lifetimes, but hey, that's how I see all that going down. But no, all the brothers hit on everything though, man.
Hey, that was a great perspective you just gave. It's gonna take some hardship to realize the true value of a man.
Of a man, of a real man, not the nug or the
no. But the thing is,
passport nug, but like the real men, like all of us did, like, for real.
No, but even the kick is because it's in men in general. So it's not to separate any man, like whether you nug or not. Like men in general's value has been decreased and it's been taken for granted. Like women don't understand how much men do for society, and that's why I'm glad you said what you said, because I said it too earlier. It's going to take some type of apocalyptic, apocalyptic change right now in order for everything to go back to quote unquote normal.
Yeah, reset.
There's too many job positions that are led by men right now that are taken for granted of. We're policed by men. We're protected. Our country's protected by men. The army's full of men. Your firefighter's probably a man. Your plumber's probably a man. If you gotta do some plumbing in your house, who you calling? Is the woman gonna do it herself? Probably not. You know what I mean? Your butcher's probably a man. Every position that is a important necessity is led 9 out of 10 times by a man. The value of men have been decreased, and it's just been taken advantage of. I mean, taken for granted in America.
And to add one more thing to that, like one of the brothers said, there's no incentive for the woman to go back to that. Not at this moment. There's no incentive there. It's the complete opposite. So once it becomes an incentive and it benefits her, then she'll see the light to be like, oh, you know what? Let's kind of go back to how things originally were. You know, when we actually were on track, especially for us as black folks.
They seeing it. I think they seeing it now. They seeing these 30-year-old, 40-year-old women who single and ain't got no kids, and they like, I don't want that. I'm not listening to you. They're starting to see it.
Yeah, it's slowly coming up, man. But like I said, I don't know if it's gonna happen in our lifetime, man. But it's gonna have to be a drastic shift there for all that to take place. It's basically like nature just resetting itself. Then that's all it is.
Okay, so here we go. We give Mr. Walker the floor. He'll take us on home.
I tell you what, y'all said a lot. Ultimately, over here, you know, we are about resolution, and we done talked about a lot of problems, a lot of issues, and I want to piggyback off of my man Poke. Thank you all for coming today. Poke, my man with it, Diz, Mr. Correct Me If I'm Wrong himself, Bangadaya, Sergio, Mr. Nug Thug Sergio, and my man Big Nasty. Thank y'all for coming. But piggybacking off my man Poke, he said we need to raise our daughters to be wives. And I feel like that is kind of the beginning and the end to our issues. Here we are. And we had this question before, you know, hey, are we raising our daughters to be wives? And a lot of us had to sit and think about that because we're like, wait, that's my baby. Now I got to tell my baby to go ahead and depend on one of these individuals out here. And it's not a comforting feeling knowing the dating pool out there. But here's where it comes full circle. Telling our daughters to be independent, if you ask me, is relinquishing accountability as a father, because I don't have to tell my daughter to be independent if I'm going to be there and be present to vet her potential candidates. I can tell her how to be. I can tell her it's okay to be feminine and to be a woman. If I know I'm going to be there to vet her candidates, she ain't got to worry. Bring Nug and Mr. 40 Hours and Mr. High Value, whomever you find, bring him here to Daddy. And I'm going to talk to him. And we're going to get understanding. And I'm going to let you know whether this is the right path or not. So once again, if you ask me, at the current state we in, it's on the men. We can make a change. All you brothers on this panel, we can make that shift by taking full accountability. We got daughters. We can make this happen by teaching them to be Jones, teaching our daughters to actually depend on the man. Why? Because we're going to vet that man that she looks to depend on. We have to do it as fathers. We cannot relinquish the responsibility by saying, hey, baby, get your degree, be independent. You don't need no man. If you ask me, that's cowardice. So we have to do what we have to do and take our position in the change for the better.
Woo! Preach, Mr. Walker. Yes, sir.
Church.
Yes, sir.
Preach. Nice.
Straight like that.
Hey, Willie, I normally don't agree with everything you said, but I agree with everything you just said, Willie.
Yeah, damn right.
Kudos to you, bro.
Hey, you can't argue with the truth, my baby.
Man, can't argue with the truth at all, bro.
Gotta hit him with the air horn, Gav.
Yeah. Flaming, Mr. Walker, flaming.
Like we said, hey, we appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. Listen, fellas, we getting back to doing panels on this channel here. So we'll probably be trying to do this at least once a week. So if y'all got time, like we give y'all a heads up, definitely a day in advance. And anytime we up here, y'all more than welcome. We try to get a schedule behind this and be more consistent with it on this channel.
I got a topic for y'all.
I miss y'all ugly faces, man. Big nasty Jones they had you in a while.
Real talk. This was a good one.
Hey, I got a topic for y'all for the next one, man.
What you got, sir?
Pick-me's and simps.
I was gonna do a show about simps. That's crazy.
Pick-me's and simps, bro.
Okay.
We could do a whole show on
what about them? What about them in particular?
Bro, that's the thing. Like basically the definition of it, what we think a pick-me is, what they ain't, you know what I mean? What a simp
like,
is.
are they good? Are they good for society or what?
Ooh.
Man, all that, bro. We can talk about all that, bro. All them things, everything you about to ask could be a question that could be asked, bro. Just
hey, good one, Serge. Let's do it.
In general, pick-me's and simps. Okay. I can't do it right now, bro. I gotta get off, man. I'm about to get
No, we work on it. Like you said, we always open for suggestions. Send us anything y'all got. Like I said, we're gonna start whipping up shows over here, and trying to get the fellas back up here. Like Willie said, you kind of missed looking at faces like Serge. Only a mom.
Hey, man, my mom sure do love it.
My man,
I miss y'all too, man.
Yes, sir. So look, like I said, with it, we appreciate it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Make sure y'all go check their channels out. With it media. Correct me if I'm wrong. Poke left. I was trying to get some more details about what Poke got going on. Poke be up here spitting hot fire. Poke had the flow tonight. That's my guy, man. Poke. He be over there cooking up on your channel. Correct me if I'm wrong. Shout out Mr. McKenzie. Bang and die. Banger, you got to find a word, Banger. I know you've been quiet for a while, Banger. I'll give you the floor if you got 60 seconds, Banger.
Gotta say congratulations to
Bang.
I'm
good, man. I peeped a lot, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I agree with, changing the way we teach our daughters at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I was at first when I was a younger father. I've been in this very early. As soon as I turned 18, I was a dad. But my mentality has changed a whole lot being that I'm 36 now. So I put completely agree with
you 18 years in.
Thank you, King.
Yeah, my daughter about to be 17, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I was let known that you a dad. I'm like, damn, I ain't even started my life.
Because like you said, that's the hit on something, Banger. You see how men think. Banger said, I've been to dad since I was 18. Women say it, or not all, because I want all police coming here, but there is a narrative to say it ain't a baby until they born. As a man, I think if I find out you 4 weeks pregnant, I'm a father, right? That's normally how men think.
I'm a dad as soon as you're pregnant.
When you get into like the whole you know what I mean, Planned Parenthood and stuff, that's not a baby if it don't come out. That's a whole nother story, though. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But Banger, that was funny. Banger said that like that because men are logical, and that was a good take, Banger.
Yeah, I mean that's all I got. Glad to bust it up with y'all on some real.
This is
But yeah, we appreciate y'all for coming up tonight. Look, this was dope. Like I said, we'll be doing this again next week sometime. We'll definitely send y'all the link. Y'all are more than welcome to come up because this was good. We need this. Definitely a balance in what we do with our other stuff. So we like having the panels up. Like Poke said, we was gracious. Like I said, we was chilling tonight. If we didn't do that show earlier, we know it could have went longer, could have started earlier, but we doing a double header right now. I'm all wiped out.
Hey, man, that's not been an echo chamber, man. All the different perspectives, different point of views, different input, that's all needed. We cannot be in no echo chamber, everybody saying, yeah, what we love to accuse the women of doing. We can't do that.
So yes, appreciate y'all for coming up. We're gonna get out of here tonight. Everybody in the comment section, Melanated A1, we appreciate you for sponsoring the show tonight. I know you be over on the other channel checking out all the content. I'm glad you made your way over here. And shout out Dane Nicole. Shout out DUI on 285. I told you, brother, be careful. Don't be drinking and driving, man. Cassidy, everybody come out, Mr. Diz. Hey, brother, we know you always in the comment section. So anytime we do a show, we love having you up, man.
Man, I want to thank y'all, man, especially for the for all of them, man, on both channels and the Cart Before the Hood. I'm gonna check out the Detroit one too. I watched the other two, and then so
So where you checking in from again? Where you checking in from, brother?
I'm in LA. I'm in Cali.
I know he in Cali. I knew that. Yeah,
I'm in Cali. Yeah,
I hear the twang. I hear that Cali twang, man.
Okay, yeah. I'm in California then. So when you did the Compton one, I'm kind of like familiar with the area. I got some peoples not too far from there though. But yeah, man, both of them was on point, 2 for 2, and I already know that the Detroit one gonna be on too though.
Yes, sir. Hey, we appreciate it. So like you said, this goes back to like Whitted said in the beginning. Start creating our own media and expand this thing, man. We got to start connecting with people all over. And like you said, Whitted, correct me if I'm wrong, man. Y'all do good shit. Man, Willie, looking forward to working with y'all in the future on different projects because we like the last frontier of Beaver County doing this type of stuff or anywhere in the area. So I think more people can. I think the more of us do this, the more it will grow, right?
Yeah, for sure. Me and Poke was talking about maybe me and him doing, something on, because I know he had his own thing going on. I got my correct me if I'm wrong joint, and then me and him maybe trying to do something together. So
there you go.
We'll see how it goes. You know what I mean?
That'd be dope.
It's cool.
Real talk. Because it's always better to have, more than one person, 2 people, 3. The more the merrier, I think.
For sure.
A lot of people get selfish and they want to hog the mic, but you gotta know how to. Everybody gotta have a shot. Like, you know what I mean? Don't work like that. Ain't no Kevin Samuels walking around here. That was only one man.
But I really do enjoy having women guests though. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. And that's so, man, Willie, it's hard for us to cross that bridge. For whatever reason, I guess it's intimidating for a woman to try to come up. We've had women lately saying they want to come up, so we'll probably do something.
Okay.
We'll see. But they watch the Single by Choices and they think we're going to be up here biting, but we don't bite.
Yeah, I feel that. I've had women decline because they thought it would, it would go a certain kind of way, and I'm like, nah, man, it's all good.
Yeah. Speaking of, your girl Marion. Yeah.
Shout out to my cousin Marion.
Yeah, she said she wanted Cart Before the Horse to come up there and have conversation. Yeah. Don't be calling on the boogeyman, Marion.
Hey, listen, y'all. If that's somebody, y'all should have her on whenever y'all do something with some ladies on there. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like, man, she give a different perspective. Like we said, we ain't trying to be in no echo chamber. Definitely respect her perspective.
Yeah.
Like we said, Pope, when you got out of here, man, just trying to let the people know who you is, man. You's up here spitting some fire. Correct me if I'm wrong, told us, y'all working on collaborating. I think that'd be brilliant. So what's your take, man?
Man, first of all, man, I'm just happy to have a spot on your show to spot my opinion, man. Y'all really doing y'all thing. Y'all really doing y'all thing, man. I love it, man. But yeah, me and Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong, man. We're gonna see about collaborating, but man, y'all really doing y'all thing, man. I love it, man. What a great show, man. I don't have much to add, man. I just love the way things flow, man. You guys do a great job, man. I didn't plan on being on this show. I just wanted to listen.
Yeah, Pope, he texted me like, "Yo, they talking about such and such right now." I'm like, "Yo, I'm on my way home right now to hop on." So I get on and I see him. I'm like, he done found a way to get up on this motherfucker. But I
no, bro, tell like real shit. Like I was like, "Yo, do you see the show that they're doing?" Because I was just listening to it.
Yeah, I knew what they was doing.
I didn't plan on being on it.
I just wasn't on it yet. But
yeah,
it's
bro.
good.
Hey, Marcus, for real, I told my woman, I was like, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and like try to get on the show, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all let me on, so
no, for sure. Hey, man, we definitely put you on the list. We give you the link, like we said. We're gonna try to do this once a week. Get the fellas up here, have some men's talk, have some growth. Right? We all can learn something from each other.
Yes,
and I think this is pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, like
hey, and I just want to say, man, about that, y'all do such a great job. Y'all do such a great job. I love y'all show. And Seth, man, I mean, I can't give you enough compliments, dog. Like, bro, keep it up, man. Just that's all I can say is keep it up. You know what I mean?
Thanks, man.
But all you guys, man, you're creating content, man, and I understand, man, like the grind, and you're doing it, man. I just wow, I love you guys, man.
And with it, a real thing is, at some point, you do your thing with your media, man. Willie take a real liking to it. Like I said, we can come on here and do the StreamYard thing, but at some point, man, we want to be in studio.
That's how I feel.
And that's what I said. And I say, all of us sitting here, we got to be able to come up with something where we could do this in person. You know what I mean? And give it
we can do it, man. I'm sitting over here on 5 cameras and people that'll hold them for us.
That's where I'm trying to be. That's where I need to be at.
So we got to take this to the next level, man. So like I said, it's going to be a good year. I think we can all work together and figure something out, man, for the best for everybody. Because ain't no selfishness.
And bro, what I challenge us to do is actually, have one of these meetings where it's just about the business side. Because I got a lot of things that I've learned from just mentors on this. You know what I'm saying? About something as simple as y'all hiring a virtual assistant for 6 hours a month to find y'all female guests.
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So something just like that, you just dropped them was gems, rubies, and diamonds right there.
right there.
You feel me? Like it's here. Like the knowledge is here, and there's more out there, and there's folks that want to share. You know what I'm saying? We need to start sitting down talking about the business side. I got some ideas on funding, all of it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Let's motherfucking do it, goddammit.
Real time. No, we gonna do it. And like you
Be
said,
that neutral spot.
Y'all talking about starting something, man. Like I said, man, Willie is more than honored to give y'all any tips that we got, any kind of content strategies to try to, help y'all fast track y'all to wherever y'all trying to go. We definitely got to support each other.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it myself, man. Getting into it, then, man.
Hey, man, do it. We need more of us. More of us.
Yes, the whole network. You got to create a network, man. That's what it. That's one thing I learned. So we talked about just Pearly and all this stuff. At the end of the day, it all comes down to having a network. Just Pearly ain't sitting there by herself on the laptop doing this.
Oh no,
right, for sure.
So, but yeah, it was nice to have y'all up, man. We're gonna get up out of here tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. We're gonna get out of here. I am Gavin X.
I am Mr. Walker.
And we are Cart Before the Horse Production.